podcast, Eye for Talent, the show where we have an eye for talent. I'm your host, Dylan, aka DJ Cereal Sauce. I'm a YouTube content creator, occasional Twitch streamer, primarily producer. I like do editing work for other people, and I'm like a podcast host, but you're listening to the podcast, so I thought that was implied. And joining me for another revisit, I swear that's not all I do on this show, it's just kind of convenient that way, is Mediocrity, aka Critty, or just Crit. We'll get into the naming conventions of it later. He is also a YouTube content creator. 4 times as much, rather. Motherfucker has 4 different channels that he's running, kind of. And also, again, famously Australian, I guess, so.
Yes, that's me. Whoa. Hi, I'm happy to be back on here after like a year and 2 months. We were slightly late.
Yeah,
a little late.
We're just a little bit late. I put it in the calendar, but you guys have to understand, he's famously Australian. I'm famously from the state that thinks that it's okay for you to... I'm not going to get into it. There's a 16-hour time gap between the two of us. So as you could imagine, scheduling
annoying.
stuff like this is really hard.
I have to wake up at a regular time to talk to him? What the hell?
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, it's kind of like
Anyways.
it's kind of like one of my coworkers who lives one of my clients who lives in Australia. I'll be like, I email him at 8 a.m. and that's midnight for him, and then by the time he gets back to reply to my emails, it's 6 p.m. for me, and I'm like, this just isn't gonna work, dude. I can't help you.
Yeah, I have to like wake up at like what 9 a.m. for like it to like align properly with our timetables, which isn't that bad when you like put it like that. But then you have to account in my inability to have a good sleep schedule. So yeah, pretty silly.
Oh yeah, the inability to have a good sleep schedule. Yeah, they've seen your videos. We've seen your videos. We know how much mental turmoil you put yourself through to get these challenges done. I'm impressed that you were even able to make it work. I guess you're not like, you're not straining yourself as hard as you normally do right now. So like, it's a little more reasonable, but
Yeah, it's the power of unemployment. It's a beautiful thing. Really, it's wonderful.
the power of unemployment, I guess. Yeah, I have some friends who only recently just got jobs because the US job market is terrible, but that's not what we're here to talk about. And it'll be like it'll be like a Monday, and I'll be like, I'm working and I have work on Tuesday, and I work Monday through Friday, and on Monday they'll be like, we're gonna go clubbing, and I'm like, you unemployed pieces of shit, stop doing that. But
Well, I mean, okay. The schedule is like I'm not gonna say I'm basically employed, but it's like I'm having the fucking I spend like 7 hours at school, I get home and then I edit for like 6 hours and then I go to bed, and it's like I have like 2 hours of free time, and it kind of sucks, but it is what it is.
yeah, I mean, that's kind of just the nature. That's just what happens when you partake in as many things as you do, as well as being a student while you do it. Because like I have friends who used to be, or I think they're almost out of college, but they like would be a full-time student and also like, at least part-time working. And so yeah, it'd be like, here's this 1 hour gap where they have free time, and I don't even get to like talk with them because they're too busy pissing about and doing whatever they actually want to do, which is like pretty reasonable. But for me, I'm like, damn it, I want to talk to my friends, but they're busy 14 hours out of the day.
Yeah. It's like I recently was like, okay, instead, because now I have the holidays, which means I have a lot of time, right? Which means instead of like working 8 hours every day, I just work 16 hours one day and then I have an entire day off.
I mean,
Don't ask how the math works out on that one. I don't want to think about it too much, but it kind of works.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of like, for me, it's almost like when you're setting a habit for yourself and you start with a really small number, and then as you're doing that habit, you find that you're doing double that amount, and maybe a part of you thinks,
Yeah.
well, I did double the amount one day, I don't have to do it tomorrow.
See, I guess that's like no, I know this is definitely a really bad habit that I should get out of, but it's like it's the only way I can trick my brain into working by just like locking in for 16 hours straight, because that's just how it happens sometimes.
I mean, I kind of feel that same thing. Like for me, I'm like, if I'm not putting at least a handful of hours into doing something that I need to do, why do I fucking bother? Especially because like,
Exactly.
if you're working, like, I don't know, at least for myself, like if I'm doing one of my song analyses or whatever, I'm like, or soundtrack analyses in general, I'm like, all right, I'm going to put a ton of hours into doing this one thing or working on these 3 songs because if I half-ass it and cut myself short, it's like, well, okay, now you're only halfway done with one of these songs, motherfucker. Go finish it. What are you doing?
Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah. It's like the moment you leave something like unfinished, you just like it's like you finish a part of your video and you go, "Oh, I'll do all the fancy like VFX work after this." It's like no, well, it's like I can never convince myself to like go back there and actually like finish it. So from now on, I just edit the video to the fullest, like while
As you're
like
going.
as I'm going along. So by the time it's finished, it's like 100% done,
Yeah.
which I used to not do, which led to a lot of annoying scheduling things, and it was a pain. So
Yeah. And I imagine it
it's
also
definitely
probably
worth
I
it.
also imagine it wastes more of your time because then you do everything that you think you need to do. And then you have to go back and like sift through and like quality check your own work and be like, okay, did I put this thing where I wanted it to? Does this have enough substance to it? Did I do this thing the way that I was supposed to do? And you end up spending a lot of time just sitting there contemplating if you made the choices that you were supposed to make, and then going back and double checking that you did everything rather than just
Mm.
doing everything right then and there.
Exactly, yeah. Ah, man. So like what types of things have you been doing in your free time? Like what games have you been playing recently?
It has been almost entirely taken up by three games actually. It's been almost entirely taken up by three games. Balatro, uh,
Gotcha.
Marvel Rivals,
Marvel Rivals.
and Persona 5.
Oh, wait, you're playing Persona. Have you played the previous games or is
No.
this your first Persona game?
No, I think no, my
Massive.
friend was he was playing Persona 3 Reloaded,
Mm.
and it was just really funny to just sit there and watch him make little quips about the characters because they're written very interestingly sometimes. And I was like, at some point, or no, he while I was watching him, I would like join in on making jokes with him and whatever. And then he was like, now that I think about it, and he told me that he thinks that I would probably enjoy Persona 5. And I was like, you know what? I'll take your word for it. And so I bought it, and he is incredibly correct. Like he has
Yes.
watched 100% of every move that I have made in this game while I've been playing it, and it becomes a big problem because I work my main hours at work, and then I get home and I get to piss about for the rest of the day. But he is a student, so he doesn't have that luxury. And so it'll be like, all right, we'll sit down for like a quick, 2-3 hour Persona session, or sometimes if we have more time in the day, we don't lock ourselves down to any amount of time, and then all of a sudden we've been there for 6 hours.
Damn.
So yeah, it's insanely fun. And the only regret that I'm having with this game is I wish I had begun recording it from the beginning, because we're 30 hours in. We have defeated the second main
Oh.
boss in the game, but we have cracked so many quips and jokes. This could have made for an awesome video, but I'm now 30 hours committed too far and I can't. But maybe if I find another
I
Persona game I
mean,
like, we'll start there. I don't know.
I mean, really, hey, with all the events going on in the world, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Persona 6 gets revealed soon.
Yeah, could you believe it? Like, could you like in a month they're gonna do like Persona 6
I
alongside
would
Persona
lose my
4,
mind.
like rebooted or whatever the hell they're gonna call
Real
it.
dude, I would lose my mind if they release Silksong, Deltarune, Katana Zero, like Bloodborne 2, quote unquote. Steel Will Run, fucking Boki the Rock season 2, like all in the same year. Like that's ridiculous. That's crazy
He's like, you
work.
guys will not see videos from me for the next year. Sorry about that.
Exactly. Oh God. It's honestly like all the cope that has been plaguing this community for the past multiple years is getting finally like solved in the span of like 3 months. It's incredible.
Yeah. The whole cope within this community, he says, aka the overarching gaming community, I suppose.
Yeah, the mega schizophrenia, this is the mega schizophrenia of the entire gaming community combined as
Yeah.
just one single massive element.
Oh, actually, a couple of other things that I've been getting into have been games that they're not even adjacent to Ultra Kill at all, but they have been played by people who play a lot of Ultra Kill, and they're like really fast paced. Those being Blood Thief, the demo for Blood Thief, um, Echo Point Nova, which I've been having a very good time with,
Oh,
and Shady Knight is the other game I was thinking of.
Shady Knight.
And Shady Knight is
Right,
cool.
let me see.
It's like a
Oh yeah, I saw that video. I saw that game.
yeah.
It was like a video that some guy made, and it was a really good video.
Yeah, so those games have also been
Yeah,
taking up my
like
time, as well as the obligatory Ultra Kill got some random big ass update, and now I have to commit another 10, 15 hours of my life to just, beating the game.
it is kind of crazy how massive the revamp update was. Like I did not think it was going to be that big.
I mean, I wasn't expecting anything. I just remember what had happened is I remember I started seeing like teasers for like Zero E music, and I was like, what the fuck is Zero E? And somebody was like, it's an encore level. And I go, what the fuck is an encore level? And they never could explain it to me. I never listened to the full song because I was like, I don't really give enough of a shit right now, to be honest. Um, and then, uh, and then I think they made like a commemorative statue of Dave Oshry in the museum just because he's the goat. And then somebody on Twitter like tweeted at him and was like, "Mr. Ultra Kill, when is the next update gonna drop?" And he just said like tomorrow. And then suddenly there was an update that came out, and I was like, what happened? I
Yeah,
wasn't expecting any of this.
it's kind of awesome. And when I loaded it up, I was like, it's just gonna be like it's gonna be the entire game looks better, and then it was gonna be like, and there's gonna be one encore level, and then it turns out there were two of them, and it was the best levels that have ever been released. It was, oh my god, it was incredible.
Yeah, and it's nice that these things. One, it's nice that there was a big ass update that came about that gave more, like, fueled more of the Ultra Kill flame, not only for the people who already make videos on the game, but for people who were new. Like, any big ass update like this is sure to draw in a bunch of people who either weren't even considering getting the game, or were considering the game but hadn't yet, and then they might, give in and buy it, or for people who had the game but hadn't played it yet. These updates happen just
No,
frequently enough
it's
to get them
worked.
into it, and then
Yeah.
it helps to create a sort of cadence for content creators who are already known in the Ultra Kill community for making content, in between all of the
Right.
random stuff that they have to kind of pull out of their ass to figure out how to make an interesting video about the game. That's not to make fun of them by any means, of course. That's just like they do have to take a lot of creative liberties when trying to make unique content for this game right now until big updates
Mhm.
happen.
No, it's like it's definitely worked because a lot of my friends like I was like, oh, you should play Ultra Kill. It's a pretty good game, and they go like, yeah, the gameplay looks incredible, but it's also like so ugly. And I never thought the game was ugly. I thought it looked really
Just
cool off the
stylized.
bat, but I guess if you don't, I guess if you're not chronically online, you might not think that. And so. But then they saw the graphics got like updated and it looks like genuinely incredible now. And they were like, huh, I should play the game. And then they actually played the game and then they realized they enjoyed it a lot. So it's really an amazing thing. Like it's great.
Yeah, it's nice. It's one thing it does do is because it refined the graphics for a lot of the old stuff. It kind of it helps catch the game, the early stages of the game up to the later stages of the game in terms of like visual fidelity and polish and whatnot.
Mhm.
But in doing so, you also help to create a bit of a stylization for the game that isn't just, haha, V1 is in 144p or whatever. But I
Yeah.
also I also respect the fact that they every time they do these sorts of things, they're also like, oh yeah, we've also updated the game like so that it's not a bunch of spaghetti code and runs better on more PCs. Like generally improving the performance of the game. Like it's very nice for them to do that because it just makes the game more accessible for everybody.
hmm And then it's gonna lead to the new layer, which I'm so excited for.
Yeah, I'll
But yeah,
yeah, I don't even
we'll see how it
I don't
goes.
know what's gonna happen with the new layer. Well, just as like a little spitball thing, I haven't like externally said this at all, not only to anybody, but just not even to myself. I've only internally thought about it. But one interesting thing I'm considering doing, which is a massive, massive undertaking that is probably way, way unnecessary, was my thought was like once all the encore levels come out and like the layer 8 and 9 come out and basically everything is finished and every intended level for the game is in the game, I was considering doing a full blown revamp of my original analysis of the music, as well as doing everything for layers 8 and 9, the new music for the cyber grind and the any of the new stuff for the encore levels. The only concern that I have is that I feel like a lot of my updated opinions and analyses on the music that isn't layer 7 specifically was already kind of tackled by the tier list that I did. So that's kind of like one of the two things preventing me from considering the idea further. that and the fact that a video of that size would probably actually be like 4 or 5 hours. So, but it's I'm excited to see what happens to the game nonetheless. Like I will give the game all the praise in the world that it deserves, despite the fact that I don't involve myself much with the game, like outside of what I've already done to it.
I don't think I've played. I only basically play Ultra Kill for the updates now, and I don't plan to make that many Ultra Kill videos because I think I'll probably still make some, but I think from now on I'm just gonna like upload. Let's see if I actually do these things, or if I'd give up on them a week after doing this podcast. Keep me accountable, right?
I'll just message you every couple of days and be like, "Hey."
All right. I think within this week I'm releasing a Dusk video, and then after that, I think I'm releasing a Rain World video. I don't know for sure, but I think a Rain World video is coming out, which is kind of massive. I really like that. And then if and I'm pretty sure I'm making a video on Repo and Keep Driving and a bunch of other Swedish games, because originally I was going to make a bunch of video on Finnish games.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be not as good as I wanted to be, and I was like, okay, I should probably rewrite that and make it better. But I have a script in the very back of my hard drive, and it's a video about Swedish games, and I'm like, Sweden, Finland, they're close enough. The Ultra Kill viewers will click on it, and then we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and it'd probably be a little bit awkward if you were to go towards the Finnish games now because somebody already did that exact same concept.
Yeah. Well, there's a bunch of Finnish games. I was like, because I was tackling a bunch of, I mean, they're all indie games, but I was tackling a bunch of other indie games. But I think in general, I want to talk about Swedish games a lot more right now because they're the ones that I'm playing. And also, I love Sweden.
Have you been to Sweden?
No, absolutely. I know nothing about it. But there was this game called Keep Driving, and I was like, oh, this looks really cool. And it was $15 in AUD. Like, in this economy? Like, goddamn.
Holy shit.
So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy it, and it was really good. And I was gonna make a video on it, like an 100 days video on it, but then I realized, like, let me just think about this
algorithmically.
Let me think about this, like, in terms of the algorithm. And I was like, I should probably just make this another combination video essay.
Makes sense. Combination.
And if it does well, then maybe I'll make an entire video on it. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, fair. This Keep Driving game to me almost looks like there's a weird pixel-y game that I've seen before called, like, I don't think it's called Oregon Trail, but it's pretty damn close to that idea.
It's very inspired by Oregon Trail, but it is like when you say pixely game, you should search up what Oregon Trail looks like.
Yeah, Oregon Trail is actually a very nice looking game. There's a game that I've seen that I know is this Oregon Trail style game. That's but it is definitely very pixely. I just don't remember what that game is called, or maybe this is like a revamped version of the game. I don't know.
Yeah. It looks very cool, and it's a really good game. I think you can honestly beat it in like 3 hours if you just try out the main objective. But it's so fun going from like town to town, doing little side quests, and like finding hitchhikers and just taking them on your journey. It's great. It's a great thing.
I love games that encourage you to dick around a lot. That are just like, oh yeah, here's this very slightly enticing thing. Go look at whatever this is, and now you're trapped for another hour doing this random side quest that you didn't think you'd gonna do.
Yeah, it's honestly like, I really like those types of games because it makes me feel so free to just be able to do anything I kind of wanna, and it makes a really interesting videos. Because like when everyone's following the same storyline, it's very hard to make a video like of yours unique and stand out. But when there's just random bullshit everywhere, like not only is it fun for me in that moment, but it makes making the actual video a lot easier for me as well because there's so many more plot points that you can put in and little silly things that you can put in as well. It's great.
Exactly. It's like it's kind of like the perfect type of game for a person who sticks out due to their personality, because you not only get to break them off from other people who are playing games that have a set storyline where you're going to see them make the same jokes and make the same decisions, but then it's also like, you know those situations in life where you're like, that is not a sentence I thought I would ever hear. You have those kinds of adjacent moments.
Yeah.
But let's see. I mean, what what have you been getting yourself into other than Monster Hunter and those Swedish games?
Other than Monster Hunter, Marvel Rivals,
Marvel
just
Rivals!
like you. Marvel Rivals.
Big.
Okay. At the start of this season, I was looking at the patch notes, and I realized to myself, damn, I do not want to play support this season. So I didn't, and I now main tank and DPS. But honestly, it's such a fun game, and I love it dearly.
I agree.
And I just want to like keep playing it, but every single time I get on, I'm like, oh no, it's gonna ruin my entire day. I'm not gonna be able to get anything productive done, so I always have to close it. And it's like it's this it's this like battle between my willpower going like, oh, I really want to play Marvel Rivals, but I never do because it's like, oh, my productivity, where would it all go?
Yeah, so here's the thing. There's a lot of good things about moving out into a new place, I think, in general. Getting to get away from the routine that you're always so used to and whatnot. Being able to live in a new place. In my case, being able to like live with my partner is great. Being able to live a little closer to work, being able to like acquire new responsibilities, all that stuff is great. But the other great thing about it is that because I've recognized that I likely won't even have the time to be able to get all of my productivity things at home done, what I call my non-work related work, because I don't have to worry about doing any of that because I'll be moving in less than a month. I don't give a shit about not being productive. And I'm like, what if I played Marvel Rivals and then I play for, like you said, way too long and then that's it.
The worst part about that is like if I was in your same situation, I probably wouldn't even be playing Marvel Rivals because I would just be watching like anime all day and doing nothing.
Fair.
Oh,
I think the only thing that will get me to, here's the thing. I understand that people who are sitting down and like binge watching shows or videos or whatever are also not getting anything done, just like I'm not getting anything done when I play Rivals, really. However, I do fundamentally believe that some level of consistency will come back into my life once I get good at actually committing to these shows and fully watching them through. And the way that I'm going to do that is by forcing myself to live with a person who is really wanting to watch those shows all the time and will be, in the most loving way possible, if she hears this, will be a pain in my ass about getting me to watch it, which will build a habit for me to consistently watch them. So I can at least, if there's at least one productive thing that I can get out of that situation, which is like clearing off my list of shows and movies that I haven't seen, that a lot of people get really mad at me for not having seen.
What would those movies and shows be?
Most of them are Disney movies that my partner is very surprised I have not seen because to a lot of people who like Disney movies, they are staples. My list is probably, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like 50 movies.
Damn. That is okay. I really shouldn't be saying damn because the amount of anime me and my phone group have watched is frankly unhealthy. But we're gonna look past that, and I'm gonna just. We're gonna brush it past it. Goddamn. So. It still like boggles my mind how I managed to catch up to One Piece in a week. Actually,
that's fucked up.
Actually, that's a video I might do.
That's fucked up.
I was like, okay, I really want to read One Piece, and I was like, wait, how can I monetize my suffering? And so I decided to read the entire manga front to back in 1 week, and I was beginning to write the script, and then I realized, holy shit, this video is going to be like 4 hours long. Because you can't condense One Piece in like an hour-long video. It's physically impossible. So I don't even.
Yeah. Not only can
it's something.
Isn't One Piece supposed to be like more accurate to its like manga variant than like almost any other anime?
From what I do know, like. As someone who's never watched the anime, I watched the anime for the hype and aura moments, okay? But that's about it. I know that the anime and the manga almost have the same amount of episodes. Like, and that's not a good thing.
Yeah, it's very... Well, the reason I was asking that is because I was thinking, like, you already can't condense One Piece into, like, an hour-long video. That is physically impossible. You'd have to do multiple, or it would have to be, like, a 16-hour-long video. But
Yeah.
it would be even worse if you were to because like there are some anime analyses for animes that are like kind of long or very very heavily packed with stuff that those videos are already pretty massive. And then if you were to try and cover the manga version of it where the storyline is probably pretty similar but there's a lot of excess details in there, that would be insane. So like if you apply that logic to One Piece, I'm like it's like I spent a week reading all of One Piece and the video itself is like a week long.
I think at most it'll be like 4 hours long because I'm doing a quite good job condensing everything, and it's less of like a retelling as it is like comparing it to like the spotty knowledge that I already have. Because I play One Piece games on Roblox because my friends play them, and I know like because I'm on the internet, I see clips of it, I see like like Galaxy Impact gets spoiled on the internet because I see a Crunchyroll video of it, and it's like because of this spotty knowledge, it makes the actual reading so fun because it's like, wait a second, I recognize this. Why the fuck is there a guy riding a lion? Like, when was that
Yeah.
ever in the thing? And it's
I don't
just
remember
like a
this in my
blast. It was
TikTok
so
edit.
funny. Yeah, exactly. And I can finally join like the One Piece community online, which is not as insane as I thought it would be, to be honest. But
Well, that's good to hear.
It's all right.
There's some reprieve that comes out of it, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm still stuck in the Chainsaw Man community, and every single week it just gets worse and worse. But
What do you mean
No,
worse
actually,
and worse?
it's not worse and worse.
What happened?
Okay. No. Okay, the manga itself is great right now. I think it's honestly like some of the best it's ever been in a while. But oh my god, man, that fan base is something to behold. You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
Okay, so you do say that in like a good way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let's just say yeah. No, it's very much it's very much a silly little place. I love it a lot.
Okay, I was curious because I know I'm friends with a guy who is really into the JJK fan base, and I don't know, just from his retellings of them, a lot of those motherfuckers seem so insufferable. So I was hoping that you weren't in like the same position with Chainsaw Man.
The JJK fan base, it's like the JJK fan base that actively goes outside their fan base can be really annoying, but the JJK fan base inside their fandom is kind of just like maybe clinically insane, but in a good way,
I mean,
in a way that
what happens.
In a way that it's actually crazy. Nowadays, the JoJo community seems like the normal ones.
That's wow. Okay. All right.
Which is insane. And but no one's here for talk about
Silk
anime
Song
right now.
comes
We're all
out.
here for like
Katana Zero DLC
Silk Song,
and
massive.
JoJo fandom are the most
Steel
normal
Bull
people.
Run. Yeah, it's insane. They got, I think, partially the reason for that. I think even like Silk Song and like Deltarune, their communities have been, less chronically insane because their games got announced.
Yeah. Oh, fair. So all the
which
insanity
is-
has expelled, and now they're like back to being kind of okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've been on r/Silk Song, and it is still a special little place, but it's actually really awesome. I'm so excited to see the game actually release.
Hell yeah, that's good to hear.
And
Let me ask you this,
I
man.
think,
Oh, what?
yep. Nah, it's fine.
I was gonna move on with the show, but if you need another tangent, I'm happy to let you go.
No, we should keep pushing onwards of the show. This is what we need.
I remember the last time we talked, you had mentioned how you were going to have a secondary channel devoted to Minecraft stuff, so that way you could help separate out from your Ultra Kill things, and because of the obvious thing that most of us understand, which is if you put yourself into a niche, trying to expand outside of that is likely going to lead to your channel dying unless you post more of your original niche. So you were at a second one for a little while. How and why do you have 4 of them?
All right. Let me. Right now I only upload on 2 and maybe 3. Okay, I'll tell you what happened with the Minecraft channel. I uploaded 3 videos about it, and then I realized I didn't like playing Minecraft, which isn't the greatest thing ever. And I was like, okay, I made like 4 just slop videos, and they did insane numbers. And then I'm like, okay, wait, I should probably make videos that are like actually good. I should take this opportunity into my hands. It took me like 2 months, 3 months to make those videos, and by the time I published them, yeah, the entire channel was a waste town. I mean, the Minecraft algorithm is a cruel mistress. But we're gonna look past that part of my life. We're gonna just I'm gonna pretend it didn't happen. We're gonna move on, and I did move on. Because I started a new channel and I did like a lot of really stupid challenges, and now it's mainly on Monster Hunter, which is things that I really want to do. So I'm having a lot of fun.
I think you need to get past that hurdle of 3 or 4 videos before you can say
Mhm,
that.
mhm. No, it's I'm at my fifth right now, right? I think.
Are
one,
you?
two, three,
Wait.
four. Yeah, I'm at my fifth. Yeah, Crit the Creator.
Ri-
Subscribe, guys.
Subscribe right now or else.
Oh, I will kill you, no.
But okay, I'm also glad that you mentioned the Minecraft videos doing insane numbers, because this obviously isn't to take pot shots at the actual channel itself or anything. Like, one, it was already insane that, like, I mean, I guess it was one level of insane for like that one video that I have to have the amount of views that it has now at like 400 some odd thousand, for me having like just over 5,000 subs. Your channel has one and a half. That Minecraft channel has 1,500 subs. And like, I know that the Minecraft algorithm is something. I find it
Oh.
insane that that video managed to get up to 100,000 views. Tell me what your theories
Yeah.
are on that.
I think honestly the YouTube algorithm was just like doing like Fent in a corner one day, and it just let me in. Like it was like the security guard, and it saw me, and it was just like, just fucking go out there and I'll recommend you. Because the video itself is like unironically mid as hell. It is not that good of a video, and I was like, at the time I was really happy with it, but I think looking back, it was like I really wish I put more effort and like goodies into that video to make it like actually stand out and to make people actually want to stick around and stuff. But it is what it is. It is what it is. You learn from your mistakes and then you move past it and you keep making better stuff.
Exactly. And I
And it taught me a lot about like editing and making videos and stuff. It's pretty good.
yeah, I mean,
I was having a good time.
honestly, like, what has it taught you? Because you have given me a lot of weird intrinsic knowledge about the YouTube algorithm that I just would never have come to understand, because I can't trust most sources on the internet when they try and pretend like they know how the algorithm works. Especially when they're people that are like massive creators and do get some kind of benefit from your ignorance and just clicking onto their videos. But like, I don't know, like I've still taken that thing into heart where it's like YouTube will check for the engagement on your videos in like timestamps, not timestamps, but like in time windows, where it's like it'll look for the engagement over this period of time, and then it'll look for it over the course of the first 24 to 48 hours, and then it'll do the first week, and then the first month, and whatever. Like, I guess I'm curious how you learned of that information, where you're getting your sources from. Cite your sources, and like,
I think
and then
I
second,
think originally my source was just a bunch of like spotty research, but then I actually was like, wait a second, I shouldn't be trusting these people on like Reddit and Quora with like who because a lot of them, they would not only post like about stuff like that, but then they would also post about stupid stuff like getting shadow banned and stuff. So it's like I probably shouldn't trust these people. But then I realized like they're probably right, because a lot of the times you'll upload a video and it will do just complete horrendous dog shit. And you look at the stats and it's like, wait, the CTR, the AVG, they're pretty good. And honestly, maybe this YouTube thing about like checking every 2 days, it doesn't work, but it keeps my cope just long enough so my spirits don't break. Because you go, okay, wait, this video's doing really bad, but the stats are all really good. So surely after 2 days, YouTube recommends my video out to people. And 9 times out of 10, if your video stats are actually that good, it does. And it's the best feeling ever, because you feel like, oh my god, I got rewarded
worked
for something, and the cope worked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all about coping hard, boys. And now Silk Song's released, so who's the stupid one now?
he stopped taking his crazy
I go
pills a
Knuckle
long time
next.
ago because he ran out of crazy pills.
You know, it's just silly little things. YouTube is YouTube's very like that. But I think the more you stop thinking about the bigger picture and the more you just focus from video to video, I think it actually helps a lot. It sounds really counterintuitive, but when you describe it as just making better videos instead of making videos exclusively for the algorithm, it kind of makes sense, because I think just making better videos in general will make you more successful. Obviously, you still need to be concerned about the algorithm, but I think it's not like that big of a thing.
Yeah, I think it's one of those
Yeah.
things where people can probably tell at least a little bit if you're doing things more because it'll actually serve you, or because you think they'll be able to tell either they will be able to tell that you either made a video because it serves you, because it serves them, or because it serves the algorithm, or sometimes all three.
Hmm.
So it's like,
Yeah.
there's certain things that, I mean, there are some people that I hear that say you can get away with doing things that you love, or you can get away with doing things that will make you successful. You cannot get away with consistently doing both all the time. And that usually just
Mm.
applies to being like a smaller creator, just due to that fact that I mentioned of like you usually have to balance out your best interests, your the people who watch your videos best interests, and the algorithm's best interests, which you don't really know because not a human being. Um,
Mm.
but at the very least, like it's almost like you do things for the algorithm to push it out to people. You do things that you enjoy because it will keep the people there to you, and so you can build some amount of a community. And you do things that benefit yourself, so you don't want to die.
Yeah. No, I think I had a moment where I asked myself like, why do I do YouTube? And it's like I was like, wait a second, I really don't need to do this. Like I could do a lot of other things and like work on those instead. But I realized I like doing YouTube because I like doing YouTube. So we'll see how far that mindset takes me. But for now, it's been pretty generous to me, and it's been pretty nice to me.
Yeah, it seems like
I
it's
haven't faced any major disappointments yet.
yeah, it's been
We'll see for
incredibly
we'll see how
generous
it
to
goes.
you. And that's obviously not to denigrate the
Yeah.
work that you're putting in, but like I mean, it's been very generous, and it's likely being very generous because of the like amount of work that's being put into it, and like all of the little things that you're doing that people don't think add up to much of anything. Like
Mm.
even just the
I
little things.
certainly
It's
cannot
like
deny that as
you're
well.
like I made it.
Yeah.
You make a video and you send it to me, and you're like, go watch this right now. And I'm like, all right, I don't know anything about Monster Hunter, but I might as well. And I'll admit, like you
Monster
saw in
Hunter.
one of the comments that I made, one your analysis on the stupid what's that weapon called? Bug. Insect
Glaive.
glaive.
My go.
Your analysis on the insect glaive not only actually almost convinced me to buy the game just because the insect glaive looks so much more fucking engaging than the last two games I played with it, but like I was actually enthralled in like paying attention to the videos despite not knowing jack about Monster Hunter. So clearly that has to show for
I
something.
appreciate it. I appreciate that a lot.
You're very welcome. I'm gonna
But
slam
I
my
think
desk.
like a lot of success you find is it feels like luck, but I think honestly my main advice for people starting YouTube is to just like keep posting. I don't even know like how to describe like why some videos do well and some videos don't, which is definitely a big problem. Other than like, oh, the engagement for this one is really good, because the engagement for the Monster Hunter videos were insanely good. It makes a lot of sense. If you're like stuck fighting the same big monster for 30 minutes, you'll probably have enough patience to like sit through a video, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah.
God, Kushara Diora, goddamn, what a monster, God.
There's also a very interesting conversation that I've had with people, not on this show, I think. I don't think it's come up on this show really. But like I think nowadays people are coming to YouTube for YouTube things. Like as dumb as that sounds, because there's always the argument to be made from all walks of life about the shortening of attention spans in general, and I've been the culprit of making those exact same points because I do kind of believe them. But like
Mm.
your joke about like, well, Monster Hunter videos probably do well because if the player can bash their head against the wall for 35 minutes to try and understand how to kill this monster, or spend hours at a time failing to kill the monster and still have the drive to go on, they're probably going to be able to sit through a 35-40 minute Monster Hunter video. I think another part of it
Yeah.
is that this is where my second thing comes in, where I'm like, people come to YouTube for YouTube things. People have YouTube shorts for YouTube shorts things, but if you just avoid that whole tab and try not to get yourself locked into the YouTube shorts BS, people come to YouTube for YouTube video things, and those videos are long. They're, long by comparison to videos you will see on other platforms. They're 8, 9, 10, 15, 20, 30 an hour, 2 hours long. And people do want to see those things.
Yeah. No, I completely like agree, because I think in a sense, I think YouTube is a very unique platform, because uh, while I do think the shorts, I think eventually I'm gonna have to start doing shorts because they really are just so insane, and I'm honestly just too lazy to do them right now, but I really should. But I really like the long form aspect of YouTube a lot because it allows me to just like express the type of stuff that I just want to say. Like I can yap for so long, and it's awesome. And to be able to like profit off that, I mean, like wow, that's what a world.
Yeah, what a world indeed. I
What a
also do
world.
fully understand that shorts are like a really insane way to get people into your channel, because I even occasionally will get stuck in the shorts loop, or I'll just see something that looks mildly interesting and I'll open it up. Like the most recent example actually is I remember seeing a face that I kind of vaguely recognized, but I wasn't sure from where. So I clicked into the short to see if I could piece together who this motherfucker was in this YouTube short. And it was a fucking it was a clip from a podcast that guy had that guy runs, that's all about like audio engineering and like being a producer, which is like one of my big things. And I realize now where I recognized him from, which was just some ad for some vocal plugin thing or whatever. But like if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have even known that that guy ran a podcast, and it's now one of the few mainstay podcasts that I actually listen to. So even if it might not necessarily, even if that doesn't apply to either of us, especially because my ass is not uploading TikTok or YouTube shorts about a podcast that I don't have any visual information from the original session or whatever. It's like those are still really insane ways to just get people to show up, and you
Yeah.
may end up getting extra subscribers from that, and then YouTube will be better about pushing your stuff to them and everything of that nature.
Right. I think like because like you see these shorts and they really grab your attention. But I think one of the best things about shorts is like while there are a lot of videos that use the main YouTube format really well, there are also like 8-minute videos, like tutorial videos about things that can just easily be done in like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And the feeling of finding a short that tells you everything you need to know in like 30 seconds and doesn't stretch on because it's got to maximize that AVG. God, it's such a good feeling. And that is objectively a good thing. And I love that.
Yeah, one of my favorite examples of that I've seen recently is because I was trying to get into using like Adobe's products again, which I've decided against because they've also been doing really like shady shit recently, and I don't like the way that they're using like
Mm.
AI tools and all this other garbage. But when I was trying to get back into them, I kept getting all of these YouTube tutorials that were little shorts that were like, "Here's how you make this really awesome, dope 3D motion graphic," and I'd go into the shorts comments, and everybody would be like, "What the fuck am I gonna do with this?"
And they'll watch it anyways, because goddamn, these shorts are just too attention catching.
Yeah, but
I was watching shorts that, like, you just end up watching shorts about things that you're never gonna remember the next morning. Like I don't know what the hell I was watching last night, but it was like it was like I just couldn't stop watching in the moment, and it's pretty not great. I think it's pretty bad for productivity, but oh well.
yeah, that's I'm I wish there was a way for me to just tell YouTube to stop giving me shorts without having to like pay them or whatever, because I was able to do really really good at breaking the TikTok kick problem. Now the only times I find myself like scrolling on TikTok more than I need to is specifically if there's like something happening in the political world, which is healthy in some
Well, I mean,
ways and unhealthy in
that means you're gonna
others.
be on TikTok a lot.
Yeah, but like if I don't engage, like I'll go through phases where I'll engage with the content very heavily for a couple of days, and then I'll make my point, and then I'll move on, and it'll stop doing that. And when it stops doing that, I stop paying attention to the app. So it's been really, in those moments, I'm really good at not letting it take my attention. But YouTube Shorts are like, I wouldn't say that they're a different beast. I think they just take advantage of the more locked in personalization that I have set for my YouTube feed, because TikTok, my personalization and my interests can just vary wildly from day to day. It can vary from random political stuff to random music stuff to indie artists who are advertising their music to weird, funny, nonsensical memes to just like cats doing funny things. Like it just goes all over the place. With YouTube, it's a very consistent set of like I like listening to interviews from like big name producers and artists. I like watching games, and I like learning stuff about how to edit videos. And YouTube knows that, and it has stayed like that for a long time. So they're really good at feeding stuff. Oh, I'm also a big like food person and trying to learn how to like be a better like cook and whatnot. So they'll just feed so much to me about stuff that has not changed about my personality. So it's really hard to like not have to click on them.
Okay, well, look, I think food YouTube is a constant among every single person's recommended page.
Yeah. Good.
I don't think I've met a single person where food YouTubers weren't on their shorts. Like it's everywhere on and everyone's shorts, and I wouldn't have it any other way, honestly.
Yeah, dead ass. Like some of my favorite chefs that I've seen that aren't like the mainstays that I've known for a long time. I've seen them through TikTok. Unfortunately, or not TikTok, sorry, YouTube Shorts. Unfortunately, that's about the only medium in which they upload videos. So, where I'm a big fan of seeing 10, 15, 20-minute videos of somebody making this recipe or whatever, there's one guy in particular that I like seeing who uploads like 9-minute videos of him making a very quick, like, I don't know, salsa or some shit. And he'll do that like once every 2 months. And I'm like, you rat, give me more. But he also has like millions and millions of, probably has hundreds of millions of YouTube Shorts views at this point. So I don't blame him.
You gotta keep the shorts grind up.
But
It's just the short grinds it looks so tiring. Like it looks like so much effort. Because
yeah,
it's like, ugh, goddamn.
I don't like editing short. Like honestly, I'm kind of okay with. I'm very glad that the type of content that I make isn't really suitable for shorts. It doesn't really make sense to be. Like the only time that it would be suitable for a short is if I was making a really, really long-winded bit that almost didn't have anything to do with the music I was doing or whatever. But I'm glad that my content doesn't fit within YouTube Shorts because genuinely, editing YouTube Shorts is one of the most tiring things for me because I can be patient with the long form content that I make for myself and the long form content that I make for other people. But if I have to make a short, like fully make a short, not just like upload a video in a shorts format, like in that aspect ratio or whatever, I have no patience for it because I have to edit like 300% harder for a clip that's only going to be 30 seconds, 45 seconds long at most. And then having to make like 8 of them. I'm like, no, fuck that. Fuck all of that.
I think one day I'm just gonna have to like lock myself in a room with like a monster and just make like 10 shorts in one day and then slowly pop them out over the course of like 2 weeks.
Yeah, honestly, like that's not an unreasonable way to handle it because I think once you get into a groove, it becomes easier. But yeah, I remember I had to make like I was trying to do my own YouTube content while I was doing weekly uploads for a friend of mine and also having to do her shorts, which I needed. I mean, I would try and pull like 4, 5, 6 shorts from every video that I was making. Holy hell. It's so annoying.
I do remember like no, okay, even when I was making shorts for my Minecraft channel, it was literally as simple as going in a video, like copy and pasting like a little section of the video, but having to fit everything in a vertical format and like caption everything. Oh my god, it sucked even though it was so easy. And I know it's just gonna get harder from here. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, like
It is what it is.
I'm probably just gonna try and capitalize on the long form content market because it's at least like kind of working.
Yeah, it's doing really well actually.
Like I think the one thing I could reasonably make into YouTube Shorts now that I think about it are like random clips from like the one day a month I stream on Twitch if something funny happens.
I really wish I could stream, but it's like it's so hard. It's so difficult. Because like my Wi-Fi is just not built like that, unfortunately.
I mean,
And also
one day you'll get there probably, hopefully.
I just struggle a lot to like be extremely entertaining for like 6-8 hours. Like I'll be really entertaining for like the first 2 hours and the last 2 hours, but that middle bit is just gonna be like completely dead.
Yeah, that's why I take advantage of the fact that I usually only stream when I'm playing games with other people or when there's like a big event happening that I'm a part of. Because then I can either afford to like, I don't know, be kind of low maintenance in a sense, or I just take advantage of the fact that I have like increased energy levels when I'm around other people. Because yeah, if I'm streaming by myself, you know, I'd probably be streaming something like Marvel Rivals, and I'm just sitting in the lobby waiting for something to happen, and I'm just not saying shit.
I did find though it's a lot like okay, this is gonna sound really like wow, this is not helping with my ADHD at all, but like honestly, there's a way I get around being like bored in boring parts of the recording, and it's having like an AirPod in my other ear. Like I have my headphone and I just tilt it so it's only covering one ear,
Yeah.
and then in the other ear I put it in an AirPod and I put on a YouTube video in the background.
Oh, for heaven's sake! I mean,
So it's like.
I guess. Yeah, well, okay. Here's what I'll tell you. If you don't, do you have like the YouTube video in a spot where you can visually see it, or?
What do you think? What do you think? What do you?
I'm gonna guess yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you're just about as bad as people who second monitor content. Because I would argue that
Yeah, no.
because I would argue if you're not being visually stimulated by it, you're at least taking some of the edge off of like
One step away from just putting Family Guy on.
Yeah.
One half step. At least I can defend myself by saying it's usually like podcasts. Like I watch like Trash Taste in the background, but like it's not really much defending.
Yeah, I mean, if it's only audio, to me, that's significantly more reasonable, because then at least
But to be
you're
fair,
stimulated in your ear one way, but visually you're like spacing out and listening to the podcast, or you're like visually paying attention to what's happening on the screen. Whereas people who
I
have
don't do it
double
when I
visual stimulation are kind of something
double
else.
visual stimulation. Well, to be fair, it's like I do need something to keep my mind sane while I do these like absurd like pain in the ass challenges in the background.
Yeah,
'Cause it's like I was doing a video and it was I think it's gonna come out by the end of the week and it's Monster Hunter, but I cannot move like at all.
What?
Which means if you've ever played Monster Hunter, it means that yeah, you're just gonna have to tank things. Like you'll do a move and then your animation you can't cancel it by dodging, so you just have to tank the monster just bashing you over the skull, and it was terrible. It was one of the worst things I've ever done. But I was on the recording day. I'm like, okay, I really need to finish recording today. I opened up my cabinet. And then I realized I don't have any more Adderall, so I was like, oh god, I'm cooked. My attention span, it's over.
Dang it!
And then I discovered, oh wait, I should do the AirPods trick, and it worked. So
Yeah, there's
and
certain
it was
things
a
like
16-hour
that
recording session.
What?
So
Talk about locking in. Am I right, folks? Jesus Christ.
so it's like if I can't get a recording done in like one day, it really pisses me off. Like
Reasonable.
it really makes me angry when I can't get like, especially if it's like a recording that can be done in one day. Like whenever I'm playing through a game, like I was recording a Dusk video and I'm like, okay, I just have to get this done front to back in one day, and I did. But the moment I can't do that, like if I can't record it in a big burst, it makes it so much more hard for me to like actually record something.
Yeah, I mean, for the same reason you mentioned earlier, you're like, I'm gonna lock in for 16 hours and then I'm gonna take a break for 2 days. No,
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
gonna not. I'm gonna do this for 6 hours and then come back tomorrow and do the other 8. Because you're probably something like me, where it's like, this is my day for recording. This is my day for doing this thing. This is my day for doing this thing. Like for me, it's like, okay, this is the day that I need to go and I need to pack some shit up. This is the day that I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna finish this editing project that I'm working on. This is the day that I'm just gonna come home and I'm just gonna play games with my friends, whoever the hell happens to be there. This is the day where my entire day is gonna be taken over by the podcast. Things like that. So it's like, if I don't get to finish that whole thing, it's like, I'm not letting that seep into another one of my days where I'm doing something else. Are you insane? I'd rather die.
I get that 100%, and it's also like, I think a lot of the times I just want to be able to like finish something. I'm a very goal oriented person, so it's like instead of like seeing it time based, I see it objective based. So it's like
Yeah.
my day just won't move on unless I finish something, and it's very annoying, but it is what it is.
Yeah, no, that's very reasonable. I also respect the, like, I'm going to put this thing in to distract myself while I'm doing this mind-numbing task for 10 hours. Like, that is completely reasonable to me, because eventually you just build up a muscle memory. And it's just kind of like, I'm doing this for the footage because I have to, and I'm not actively putting much effort into it because I don't need to, or because there's only so much mechanical effort I can put in. Like in the case of a Monster Hunter no moving challenge. You're like
Okay.
you're playing Monster Hunter, but I removed my left stick on my controller. Like, what the fuck else are you supposed to do?
It was a very special little recording. The video itself is very funny. I hope it does above average. But I think one of the main reasons that I do stuff like that is because I'm very good at it. Like I actively perform better when I do that little bit of tech, especially if I don't have some Ritalin in my system, just like clogging me up and clogging my brain up.
Yeah.
It's really like, it helps me. I guess it's like having a conversation. When you start a conversation, it's like it starts off a lot less energetic and stuff than when you like when you're fully into it.
Yeah.
And because the first like hour of a recording, as well as like the final hours of a recording are the most important for a video, at least, I have to be able to like find myself in a social mood. And it's a lot easier to get in that mood by, rainrotting yourself.
Yeah.
No other way of saying it.
This is plain and simple. No, I also this is as soon as you mentioned you're like I put the earbud in and I use this when I'm distracting myself for a monotonous thing. It reminded me of a video that I was watching where this dude he tried beating a Five Nights at Freddy's game, but having as high of a score as you can, or having over 1 million score in the game or whatever, which is usually like incredibly difficult. And I remember there was a portion in the video where he was like, you have to do this thing where you literally have to sit here for potentially multiple minutes, actually doing nothing but waiting for this specific thing to happen, and then you can score all your points or whatever. And then it reminded me that, oh yeah, that guy's also a challenge runner. And then it reminded me of a different challenge runner that I'm a big fan of. So like, these guys don't do anything in the same vein that you do, but they do a lot of challenge videos for games that they really like. So you could definitely consider checking them out just to maybe potentially get some inspiration if you need any additional like, what could I do to make this game interesting? Like, how can I think outside of the box to make a challenge video on something?
Yeah.
So it's just a thing for you to
that'll be
consider.
helpful, actually. I think one of the main things is like I always bounce around from game to game, which isn't very convenient for like getting good at a game a lot.
Yeah.
But because I've been playing Monster Hunter for so long, I was like, wait a second, I can actually probably do a Monster Hunter challenge. Like that's something I can do without suffering. So
Yeah.
that's what I did, and I somehow managed to beat Monster Hunter without fucking moving or dodging, which is awesome. It was so fun and awesome. It was so great.
Yeah, exactly. And now you are getting like you do have the potential to get to that point of like people knowing you more as the challenge runner who's the god gamer of them all than just another Ultra Kill person or whatever, another Minecraft person.
Hey, no, they'll still know me as the Ultra Kill guy because the challenge run video isn't going on the silly Ultra Kill channel.
Yeah, I know. I guess the point is like who knows like the diverse game portfolio and the potential for other game communities to be more supporting of branching out and doing other things could possibly potentially net you more success on that channel over time. On your
Here's the game
channel.
plan. Right. I plan to not upload any Ultra Kill until the next Ultra Kill update. And I have all the videos planned, but because I understand that YouTube is a cruel overseer, I always have this break in case of emergency, and it's this fully completed video about Ultra Kill mods. And it's like, if a video does extremely shit that it will completely obliterate the vitals of my channel, I'll just slap that one out there and
win.
It'll all be back, and then
it'll
we'll keep on doing stuff.
And then what's going to be your next break in case of emergency if you have to use that one?
See, if that happens, I just kind of like, I think I have to make a new one. I think it's going to be a video on, let me go to the ideas list. I think it's going to be a video on, probably just like a video on a lot of the like post game of Ultra Kill, because I never really did the challenges and all that stuff. Like I did the perfection, but I never did the challenges of every level and like the secrets and stuff. So
yeah,
I'll probably make a video on that because that sounds interesting enough, I guess.
Yeah, that's fairly.
But the
reasonable.
mod video is pretty good.
Yeah.
Or I make a video on custom levels. It's either that or that. But
yeah,
I already have a mod video done, so we'll see how it goes.
I love the break in case of emergency thing. Honestly, to me, one, that's hilarious as hell. But two, that tells me that you actually do have you have a lot of forethought when it comes to, or like foresight when it comes to how you want to handle this channel. Like you're treating this a lot better than most other people that I know. Well, okay, it's not fair for me to say that because basically everybody that I know splits into two groups. There's all of my friends, and then there's all the people that I'm like kind of friends with because I've talked to them a decent amount, and they're also content creators, so they do take their job very seriously. I think because you're closer to my age than basically anybody else that I know who does YouTube content creation, I forget that like you do still have to be a professional on your own. And like whether or not we consider ourselves friends is one thing. You are still a professional. And so you have to do these kinds of things.
It is just like YouTube is really good because I see a lot of people really complaining that YouTube forces you to do some type of content. It doesn't force you, but it makes doing it a lot easier. But I think in a way, it still allows you to make different types of content. And it I think it just comes to understanding what you can and cannot do and just working with that. Because there are limitations. You can't just like one day make a video uh about Ultra Kill and then one day decide to make a video about One Piece. That won't work. But
Yeah.
like making a video about Ultra Kill and then I made a video on Ina, which was a really, really good game. And then I saw that it actually did well. Like it did better than some of my Ultra Kill videos. And I was like, wait a second, I forgot that I kind of like can do other things. I trapped myself in this like thought process. I was like, okay, I can only do Ultra Kill. And now that I'm seeing that that's not entirely true, it's kind of like motivated me a lot to actually work more on my channel. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, I guess.
Yeah, again, it seems like it's going really well right now. There are certainly some things to be attributed to luck in terms of like your Monster Hunter videos are
Definitely.
doing fucking incredible, which like good kudos to that. Honestly, like it's insane.
Dude, the thing about the Monster Hunter videos, it isn't even the views that shocked me. It's the subscriber turnaround that shocked me.
Yeah.
I can understand how I got 50K views. I don't understand how so many people have watched that and then decided to subscribe. Like that's the craziest part to me.
I mean, have you ever found a content creator that you thought had a banger ass video and you were like, holy shit, this is the perfect kind of thing I'm looking for? So you subscribe to them and then you find out that they don't actually have many videos? Because I've done that plenty of times and so many people did that with me. Like all the rebrands that I told you about the last time we talked, I came back
Yeah.
and the only actual videos on my platform, actually, no, there were almost no videos on my platform technically when that Ultra Kill video dropped. I had I had three before
Like
it.
4.
I had,
Yeah, you
I had three
or
of them
something.
before it. Two of them were social justice issues, and one of them was actually gaming related. So people saw that video and were like, "Holy shit! What the hell is this? How did this happen?" And then they subscribe, and then if they want to go find more content, they're like, "What the fuck? He has nothing else." Like, it's more common than you think. Like, if you have a good enough video, your subscriber turnaround can be kind of insane. Like, if it not only if the video's really good, because I've seen plenty of really good videos from people that I won't subscribe to because I don't know, I don't know how to explain it. I just don't. But it's also like if there is enough substance in the video where they're kind of under this impression that like this is the type of personality that I like. They're making the exact type of content that I'm looking for in whatever scenario. And then that's why they're going to do it, is because they're basically doing it in the hopes that there's going to be more content kind of like that, or that there's going to be content that's going to give them a lot of substance similar to the video that caused them to subscribe in the first place.
Yeah. Oh, I'm pretty just like hopeful for the future. I think that's the one thing that keeps powering me. It is really just hopes and dreams and cope. Like it's a lot of
Copes and
it's a
dreams.
lot of that. And it's working pretty well so far. I think the one thing that I really do have to thank YouTube for is like keeping my mediocrity channel alive for like an entire year, even though I did not upload on it. That's the main thing that I gotta like thank them for. Because like I cannot stress, like if you look at my engagement chart, like my upload chart and stuff, it's like an entire year where I uploaded weekly and then an entire year where I did nothing, and it's only starting to pick right back up because I think I only started uploading again in December.
Yeah.
So the entirety of 2024, it was just a ghost town. There was nothing going on.
Yeah, I guess I'm curious. Yeah, if you were looking at the engagement charts, like, did you notice that there was just a very consistent influx of people constantly watching the videos?
Yeah, like even when I didn't upload, those still like it didn't grow. It was just the same like 500. Let me see. It's like the same like 100ish views to 1,000ish views. It ranges crazily, but it's like it ranges from that even though I'm not doing anything, which is super convenient, I guess.
Yeah. I guess
Let me see.
I was just, yeah, the reason I was curious about that is because, yeah, it seems like certain types of Ultra Kill content do prompt a lot of people to. My thought is that it's either YouTube constantly recommending it again to people, or depending on the type of content, it's the same Ultra Kill people coming back and constantly watching it, thus boosting YouTube thinking that, or I shouldn't say thinking, but like YouTube seeing it as like, oh, there are still people engaging with this, like we can kind of keep pushing it out, because it seems like Ultra Kill players still very much, there are certain types of videos that they really, really like, and that they will continue to go back and watch, whether or not the original poster of them thinks that they have replayability to them.
I think one of the main things is that Ultra Kill players are very engaged and they really like Ultra Kill. They're very passionate about their game, which is incredible. Not only for like because it makes the game communities amazing, but also because like just strictly speaking from a selfish, terrible YouTube perspective, like their comments, they not only like teach me about the game and make me love it even more, but it's also just really good for the algorithm. I think the biggest factor I found between my videos that did well and didn't do well was just like people who commented. Like if people comment on your video, you've made a good video.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, or you could say something terrible, and that's the reason why people comment. I think that might also work. But if you want like people to like
you made
and
people
engage,
passionate enough to say something in your comments, whether they're telling you that they love this video and want to see more, or whether they're telling you to kill yourself. You know?
Yeah, something like that. But okay. Also, I was definitely selling myself a little bit short. It was like a consistent like 3,000 to 1,000 view range, even when I wasn't uploading. So thank you,
Nice.
YouTube. I appreciate it a lot. And I will be uploading a lot more consistently because I was not doing that before. Like, goddamn, I was not doing that.
Yeah, you actually got me looking at my analytics again a little bit just because I was curious. What in the hell? Sorry, YouTube is giving me very weird recommendations on the analytics page on the YouTube Studio. Anyways, I was just curious and looking through my content just to see what was going on, because it's funny, every week on the YouTube Studio thing, it'll always like ask you a question, and like half of them are always which of these videos were the most viewed, and I always know the answer, which is like that first Ultra Kill video, because it's still insane to me that like, I mean, there's a lot of Ultra Kill players. I don't know how many of them are just now stumbling into, according to YouTube, a lot of my views, like probably about half of them, or maybe about a third of them, still come from full new people who have either never seen that video before or who have never seen my channel before, which is still pretty insane. But like that big main Ultra Kill video still, I mean, it's dipped down a lot since the last time I uploaded any Ultra Kill content, but like that video was still hitting anywhere from like 7,000 to 10,000 views on its own every single month. So like,
Jesus.
It's very strange, and I also don't know where it's coming from, but that kind of supports my theory that you are also very likely, not only is YouTube pushing your content out to a lot of new people, which is great, but it seems like you said, Ultra Kill players are very passionate about the game and will continue to just watch content that they already like about the game, which is also buffing up YouTube and going, well, people are engaging with this, so clearly we should show more people.
Yeah. It's very nice, actually. It's kind of like even though like YouTube can be very annoying and finicky at times, I think at the end of the day, I'm still very grateful for the platform they've given me. I think I'm very, I think I see a lot of people complaining about it, but I think as long as you understand that you do have, responsibilities to provide for the all-powerful, all-hungry algorithm, it's like you can do your own thing, and it's kind of silly like that.
Yeah, I think
At the very least, I always thought of it as, okay, sure, your videos might get like 10 times less views, but if you make a video that's good enough, even if it doesn't do incredibly well, like the 2,000 people who will still watch that video will remember that, and they'll become more. They'll like your channel more, at the very least, I guess.
Yeah, and the videos that often get lesser views but the same amount of like engagement percentage wise, those people are usually a lot more invested in like commenting and boosting things. So not only did you make a greater impact on those people, not only are you potentially priming YouTube to push your next video to the goddamn moon, but there is, I would say that there is almost nothing in the internet space that can quite top the feeling of having a video that starts to pick up traction and starts to do kind of well, and being told by people that the quality of the video feels like it is much, much, much higher than what they assumed it was going to be based off of like the size of your channel. Like having people give you a lot of credit for the good work that you do, despite your channel being fairly small, feels really good.
It does. It does. But honestly, I think my main takeaway from like, because 2024 it was basically just a year where I did nothing except like side questing and learning a little bit about YouTube,
Yeah.
was that a lot of the times, like if something does badly, you do just kind of have to move on. You just gotta like, it is what it is, and you just gotta just keep on going and try to make a better video next time, because you can't control a lot of stuff, but you can control like yourself. So as long as you keep yourself in a healthy mind state and like continue to do things that you enjoy and like, then you should be, seeing good success in no time.
Yeah, exactly. There's even an interesting psychological perspective to this that I only recently learned after reading this big ass psychology book that I bought like 3 years ago. Psychologically speaking, humans tend to focus a lot more on the negative things than the positive things. We all know that is like the negativity bias, but they've also found that usually the positive outcome for something has to be upwards of 2 times as good feeling as the bad feeling feels bad. So the point is that it's really easy to fall into feeling negative when something shitty is happening. Or not even when something shitty is happening, sorry, but like when things aren't performing as well as you would hope that they would do. If things aren't happening as well as you would hope that they would based off of the work that you put in. Because at the end of the day, there is usually some kind of silver lining to it. And even if your video isn't doing particularly great, it may be doing better than the previous video that you made. If you're like a new content creator who isn't doing crazy numbers on anything yet, your video is probably still doing better than the one before it. And then the next one that you make might still not do great, but may be even better than the one before it, or you might get more people engaging with it or whatever. So like, as silly as it sounds, as cliche as it sounds, it's like, yeah, just try and look at some of the good things that come out of it and try and capitalize on those things and continue to sort of chase that feeling of just the satisfaction of doing the thing. Not the satisfaction of the numbers, but just the satisfaction of something good coming out of whatever you did, instead of focusing super hard on the negatives, because then that is the easiest way for people to just be like, you know what? I'm not doing this YouTube shit anymore. I'm out.
Yeah. It's yeah, and honestly, it could be a lot worse. I think Ultra Kill, as I took a break from it, like a whole year ass break, and I come back to it, it's like the game is so fun and it's so good, and especially when you get into the mods, like some of the weapon mods out there are just clinically insane. But it's have you seen some of the custom enemies? They're so good, and I really want to make the video about it, but like it is unfortunately a break case of emergency button.
Yeah, it's a break in case of emergency button. It's one of those things that you probably don't. It's probably one of those things that like you might work on the side if you feel like it, or like you just wait for your first break in case of emergencies thing, and then you're like, okay, now I have to scramble and get this done just in case.
Yeah,
but
it is, I think like out of all the things I like doing the most, I think the content I do really want to make is just about a bunch of little indie games, because I keep playing them and they're so fun, and I just wish I could like spend more time with them without feeling guilty, right? There's this really good RPG called Hylix, and it's really weird and silly and bizarre, and I loved every second of it so much. And I was like, oh, I really wish I could just do this and be lying to myself that it's productive, because that's awesome.
Oh, this is a weird looking game. This is super abstract. What the fuck?
Yeah, but it was so silly and it was so good. I loved it a lot.
You know, one thing I'm realizing as well, you probably eventually, once you've built up to the point of like having the confidence to work on this like Swedish indie game type bit, one of the cool things about it is that, like, depending on how large you are when you get to that point, you'll likely increase the exposure of those games like, 5-10-fold potentially. Like if the outturn is big enough, so like you'd be almost second-handedly supporting that game's success in a way.
That is actually a crazy thing to think about. That's a thought that has never come to my mind, that I'll be big enough to do something like that.
Yeah, it was kind of it was like that thing we were talking about last time we were here, where I was like, keep in mind even if the numbers that we do and like the subscriber bases that we have feels low by comparison to a lot of other people, like it's still, you've passed a big hump in the YouTube space. So like you do have a fair bit of influence, and you can make a difference in showing off weird shit like this.
Right. Yeah, no, actually, you're definitely right. Wow, okay. That's I guess that makes like playing the small indie games a lot. Like I think one of the big things is you have to balance a game that's popular, but you also have to balance competition a lot.
Yeah.
Like you have to make sure that your videos, like why would people watch you instead of other people? And I think that's one of the harder things to balance. And it's like if no one knows what a game is, it might be harder for them to click on, but it would also mean that your video would stand out a lot more, maybe. I don't know, something like that.
Potentially, yeah, because you're either going to have a lot of people who are really into the game and that's why they look at it, at which point you've either attracted an insanely niche audience and maybe your video doesn't actually end up getting anywhere in terms of actually getting the game to be larger because it's just the people who know about the game looking at it. It's either that, it could potentially just be a bunch of people who just really like your content and are like, okay, I don't know what the hell this is, I might as well look at it, and then they see it, and then maybe they're a fan of it, and then they buy it. Or, like you said, your video is just batshit insane enough and just weird enough that the goblins on YouTube are like, okay, I gotta see what this is. I have to know what this is.
Yeah, but you know, I'm grateful for everything that's happened, and it's like, you know, even if something goes like the TF2 video did complete dog shit, but it's like, oh, and the fish video as well. Those two videos didn't do well, but it's like at the end of the day, it is what it is, and it's just I'm still happy to be able to like make videos and to be able to like entertain the community and stuff. It's nice.
Yeah. Actually, one additional thing I was just thinking about it with the like, you can inspire other people and you can make a change within the landscape and you can support other indie games and whatever, is actually like, so there, I don't know if you've seen this yet before. I've run into this situation exactly one, maybe two times. After I made my Risk of Rain video, it's been a couple of months now. Now, fast forward to the present, almost the present. A couple of weeks ago, I was just looking around and I kept seeing this one video on my YouTube feed that was just Commando from Risk of Rain, like in like the main title with the word brilliant behind him, and the title, The Genius of Risk of Rain 2's Soundtrack. And I was like, oh, I'm sure I'll get around to it eventually. And then I got around to it and I watched it. And even though it's only 15 minutes, I almost think, I do think it is actually better than my like 2-hour long video. It achieves two entirely separate goals, but like this is a lot more engaging and gets a lot more people in. This guy had like maybe 200 subscribers when I found this video. And I watched it and I was like, this is an insane video. So I showed some love as like, you know, fellow music person. And then a couple days go by and his video kind of blows up a little bit, like for like by standards of having like 200 subs or whatever. Like right now, 3 weeks later, it's at 18,000 views. The next video that he uploaded 5 days ago is a Battlefield 1 video that also has 18,000 views in 5 days. But the reason I bring him up is because when I showed him some love on the video, I think I even shared it around the Discord that we're in, being like, you guys need to watch this. That if you think my video was good, this guy's video is even better. And I watched him, and unbeknownst to me, he took inspiration from my video.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so I commented, and he was like, "Yo, no, hold on, let me see if I can find. I have the video pulled up right now. I just
awesome.
all I said was I just said Risk of Rain mentioned. Oh, and then after I finished the whole video, I said, as the guy who made a nearly 2.5 hour long video dissecting every song in the game, I can confidently say that this video is better. Good shit. Commenting to boost the algorithm. And he said, dude, there's no way. I looked at your video months ago and came back to it for inspiration. So like him finding me made him allowed him to like make one of the best videos he's ever made. And now his channel is probably going to go do great things. So like,
whoa.
So that's pretty cool.
Right. God, that's actually kind of awesome. Jesus.
So I'm hoping one day you can find like your version of that, where you find a video that fits within your little niche choice, And then you're like, I need
My
to show
little
this
niche
video
choice.
love, and they're like, yo, shit, is that Crit the creator? And you're like, and then you respond,
Oh,
call them
God.
3.
That feels so surreal to me. To be honest. I'm just like I'm just some guy in my bedroom making slightly below average content. Like it is. I hope, hopefully one day.
Isn't that most of us?
Hopefully one day.
We're just some what your fucking YouTube like bio is just certified boy failure.
Certified. Is it still that? Wait, that's awesome. Wait, did I do that?
I think on your challenges channel, yeah.
Professional boy failure. Oh my god, I haven't even done a challenge video in so long. God damn.
That's so funny.
God. All right. Well, hey, that's just how it goes.
Yeah, exactly. We're all just our own. We're just our own little person sitting in our own little room, just making these videos because we think they'd be kind of funny, or because we think we have a good idea. And then you know, sometimes boom, they explode out of nowhere, and then boom, sometimes they don't.
Yeah, sometimes they don't. It is what it is.
But
man,
let me ask you this: where did you come up with your name in the first place?
I completely real you. I have zero fucking clue.
What? What do you mean?
Yeah. Like I genuinely don't know how I come up with half of this stuff. I kind of just did it, and I just really wanted to make videos, so I just fucking just like put words together, and it kind of fit, and I'm like, whatever. I'll change it in the future when I really feel like it and I have a better idea, and I kind of just don't. So we're sitting with this for now, I guess.
I mean, yeah, it's like it's like you have like the bones and pieces of being able to get there. There's probably just a few little things that you need to figure out. To me, it sounds like you're just from the very beginning with Mediocrity, you were just embracing like being just okay at games or whatever.
I was like, I think I can't really deny that a lot of my videos are a little sloppy. You know, I mean, to be fair, I literally put out a video called "How Ultra Kill Mastered the Ultra Kill Mastered the Ultra Kill," and if that isn't like peak slop, I don't know what was.
It just sounds like it would have been an April Fool's video, if I'm honest.
In my defense, I had 5 assignments due that week, and I really need to get a video out. I think I unlisted it because it was just too sloppy of a video, even for my likings. It was the one with the thumbnail where it was Ultra Kill saying, "Nah, I'd Ultra Kill" in the fucking Gojo pose.
Yeah.
which I mean, like that isn't, you know, the best look ever, but
dead ass. Yeah, if you had you should have honestly kept that video and just uploaded it as an April Fool's video. Like that would have been
April Fool's video.
Because honestly, like I mean, I guess granted, people usually upload they upload April Fool's videos like shortly within tandem of an actual regular video they want to make, so that they're not just leaving their subscriber base like blue-balled in a sense. But that would have been pretty goddamn funny and would kind of excuse, like, you know, sometimes you make the best of the fact that you want to make a video on something, but you can't be asked to put all of the effort into it, I suppose. And so, like, while I'm not necessarily condoning it all the time, that's one of those situations where it would have at least been like, at least there was some amount of effort that was put into like making it entertaining for people, and that could have been a funny April Fool's video or something.
The problem was it wasn't even like a funny video. Like I think it was. I'm pretty sure it's just a video where I was just talking about the encore levels.
Dang it!
Well, and I was like, wait, what should I name this video? I can't name it like, oh, Ultra Kill encore levels are pretty good. That's a terrible name, and the video itself is like not that great. I'm like, okay, wait, I need to like figure something out, and then I need to go to bed and then go to do like 3 tests tomorrow. So I was like, I got it, and I quickly put together this shitty little thumbnail of V1 looking at the screen saying, "Nah, I'd Ultra," and then I just named it "How Ultra Kill Mastered the Ultra Kill Mastered the Ultra Kill," and I don't regret a damn thing.
It sounds like that's something you might be able to rebrand into something actually good later.
next year's episode.
as like a turbo shit post, but like one of those ones that, like you said, does have effort put into it, so people look at it and they go, this is a very strange video I'm seeing from this person, and then they realize it's April 1st, and then they realize that it's actually still kind of a banger for being a joke.
I think what I would do with that thumbnail is, like, imagine you see How Ultra Kill Mastered the Ultra Kill Mastered the Ultra Kill, and then you just look at how long the video is, and it's a 2-hour fucking long video about Ultra Kill and how it's just amazing and peak. Like, could you imagine that?
You're just like,
that'd be fucking hilarious.
I'd see that and I'd be like, what? Who the fuck made this? And then I'd look at the name and I'd be like, oh, I understand.
Like it's crazy because I would be putting myself at an active disadvantage by using that terrible title, but I think like I might just do it because it's like funny.
Yeah, you're getting the most amount of ultra kill per YouTube thumbnail, in a sense.
Yeah,
Or,
so much
sorry,
ultra
YouTube
kill.
YouTube title.
Yeah. Oh well, I guess only time can tell, but
We'll
it
see.
is
Yeah,
what it is.
that could be your 2026 break in case of emergency.
Breaking. It would not be that. It's a 2 hour long video. What?
I mean, hey, actually, well, I say, hey, no, that's probably actually very true. Like, I don't know that you can necessarily go from making, 10, 15, 20-minute videos to 2 hours.
Yeah.
I just love the idea so much that I don't want to let it die.
It's so silly. I probably will do it knowing me. I think I got to a point where I was basically for the entire year of 2024. I think I don't really remember what I was doing. I know for the last half of it, I was playing an ungodly amount of Marvel Rivals.
Make a Marvel Rivals video, challenge video. I don't know. I just
Challenge. Mega. What would I do for Marvel Rivals? I'm so honestly. I think there's a chance that I just get all the clips I have of Marvel Rivals by the end of the season, and I put it on my third channel.
Yeah, that is true actually. Like there's always something tasteful about like just a funny moments compilation of, I don't know, like fucking Scarlet Witch getting Hulk grabbed out of her ult or something.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. Honestly, I don't really have any ideas of how I could reasonably make a good Marvel Rivals video because I'm not like I don't play it that much nowadays.
Yeah, no, that's because it's Monster Hunter.
Yeah, a lot of Monster Hunter. I love hunting monsters. I love it.
I mean, I guess you don't really have to worry about making a video for that kind of thing until unless you get back into playing the game a ton. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Like, I'm playing this game
what I do
in
know,
excessive quantity. Like, I could probably just
oh,
I could bang out a fucking video for the. I couldn't bang out a video. I could bang
can
out
make
enough
one.
clips for this game.
Yeah.
Well, you know what
It
else?
just depends if you can.
I'm gonna. Sorry. I'm gonna just do a bunch of Marvel Rivals gameplay. Wait for something silly to happen. Clip it. Remove my voice, and then you can put your voice in. You can steal my content, and then.
So I don't even play Marvel Rivals. I just sit there like making my own video. I get a DM and it's like, oh sweet, a clip, and I just slap it into DaVinci Resolve and say something stupid on top, and I just call it a day.
Maybe I don't know. It's still more. I'm not gonna get into it too much. It's still better than some people who are just using AI to make their videos. Okay, look, you may think it's shameful to put your voice over my bad clips, but at least we're both doing something.
I'm not. It's like, oh god, that stupid AI voice. It's like fucking.
I can't stand them. I hate them so much. My partner tried sending me like a semi heartfelt meme of like a cat giving like a heart to the camera or whatever, and I was like, this would be really sweet if it wasn't for the fact that it's using the AI voice that I can't take seriously because he's said things like. I don't even know. He's just said some of the most heinous shit I've ever heard in my life. I'm like, don't send this to me ever, please.
God. Yeah. I mean, I think with AI, I think part of it is because it makes making shorts a lot easier. But I really don't want to use it because it's also like they're all like subscription based, and it's like, why? I don't want to do that. That seems.
Yeah, I can't stand that. I can't honestly. I can't stand subscription based things for a lot of things. But especially anything relating to AI, I can't stand that shit right now. Granted, it's because I don't think it's because everything that people have ever advertised that AI can do for you, I have never found a personal need for. My life is not enough of a chaotic mess where I needed to organize my schedule. I'm not a terrible enough photographer or Photoshop aficionado that I'm using AI to generate art. Although I did in the past, I'll admit, but I'm better about it now. This is like 2 years ago. I'm better about it now. They have fucking programs that you can use AI to make music, and I will never stoop that low to be that much of a scumbag. Like,
that's gross.
Nothing they have ever advertised to me have I found any actual use in. So especially the fact that they're like, now you pay us $15 a month, which if we can get 100,000 people to do that, that'll pay for the cost of our AI. I'm like, no, fuck you guys.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Dude, I'm so lucky to be surrounded with like artist friends who can like actually make art and it's incredible and it's beautiful and I just pay them like fucking $50 and I get it and it's like
And I know that
why
that
would I
fifty
need AI
dollars
for
go
that?
towards them, yeah, and not some fucking like.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd rather pay that.
And it's 50 AUD as well, which means I'm getting a steal out here. I mean,
Yeah.
damn. That's like 2 USD.
No, that's like 40. That's like 55 USD. Hold on. Wait a
50,
minute.
no, it's like 35 USD. It's like 35 USD.
Currency converter. Why is it on euros? Change that
AUD.
shit right now. I did that in the wrong order. Oh, you know, it is nearly 30 United States dollars. Okay, I very
God,
overestimated that.
I love my dollar. I love my dollar. I think it's honestly one of the most convenient currencies to convert though.
Why?
All right, so converted to the pound, you basically just double the pound. So like if it's 15 pounds, it's 30 AUD.
Oh, okay.
And then it actually matches almost 1-to-1 with a lot of Asian currencies, which is very helpful because we're right below Asia.
Yeah.
Like 100 yen is basically just 1 AUD. I mean, I don't know if that's true now because the yen keeps diving in a fucking free fall, but we're gonna ignore that. I think for the Chinese yuan, you just like times it by 5. So like if it's like 45 yuan, it's like 9. Can I do multiplication? What the fuck?
9. Yeah.
Yeah, 980.
Yeah, that
So it's really easy to convert.
the currency conversion is so funny you bring that up because the Persona thing. In Japan, okay, I can say this objectively. There are a lot of things in Japan that are dirt cheap by comparison to how much they would cost you in the US, and they're better for you. I can say that because I have a friend who traveled to Japan just a couple months ago, and probably within the next year or 18 months or something, I'll probably also be there. But
Yes.
when I'm playing Persona, the main place that you stay at a lot, they're like, here's this coffee for 350 yen or whatever, and I'm like, holy shit. Or no, it's like 350 yen or like 500 yen or something, and I'm like, holy shit, that's like $1.50 or $2 USD. What the fuck?
Yeah. No, okay, look, to be fair, you guys as Americans are so lucky to be so goddamn rich. Like you
But we're
like,
not.
You can
That's the
travel to
thing.
anywhere. Well, okay,
The
yeah, maybe
average
not.
American is not very
Everything's too
rich, and
expensive,
even if some of us are,
compared to the rest of the world, like
Fair point.
if you like go like you think like Japan would be like, oh, it's an expensive-ish country because it's Japan, everything's really high tech. I've been to Japan so many times because of like family and stuff.
hell yeah.
Dude, everything there is so cheap. It's like, what the craziest part is? I think like out of all the Asian countries that I've been in, like I'm not even exaggerating. I think out of all of them, I think Hong Kong might be the most expensive. And then it's Japan, and then it's Korea, and then China's weird because some parts of it are really cheap and then some parts are really expensive. But Japan is such a miracle country when it comes to like earning like an American or an Australian income and going there. Because it's like you go into a 7-Eleven, and I'm used to monsters costing like a ridiculous amount of money, right? And it's like they're cheaper as well, and the food as well. That's the main differentiate actually. The food in Japan is so cheap compared to Australia.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Like Sydney, it's like if you want like a mediocre ass bowl of ramen, it's like $20, 15 AUD and stuff. You go to Japan, you get like the best ramen you've ever had for like $10 to $15, maybe even cheaper if you find the right spot. And if you're in the countryside, like everything's fucking free. Like it's oh man.
Do you know how to speak Japanese by chance? I'm just curious. I know that you don't like really have to per se if you're in like larger city states in Japan because everything they have is translated into 1,000 different languages. I'm just curious.
I am actively learning Japanese right now.
Is it working?
Right
do you
as
think?
we speak. Okay, here's the thing. So because I know how to speak Chinese, so Taiwanese as well, I know how to speak it. But you might be going, oh, that's great, because kanji and simplified
No.
traditional Chinese, they're the same thing.
No.
My ass did not learn how to read traditional Chinese. So I don't know any of like how to read it, but a lot of the languages are a lot more similar to each other than English.
Yeah.
So it's actually pretty convenient. It's pretty nice.
And what are you using to learn these languages? I'm just curious.
All right, it's a lot actually. So obviously we have Duolingo, my favorite, but we also have I use Anki to reinforce a lot of my learning.
Yes.
There's this kanji app that I use Renshu, and I also I mostly use Renshu now. I don't really use Watakanji or whatever the hell it was called. I also use Memrise as well. I also use the textbook that everyone uses. The
The Genki textbooks.
well, yeah, those
Yeah.
things. And yeah, if anyone wants to learn Japanese, learn katakana and hiragana first. You will be able to get them down within a day. I promise you that. You'll be able to learn everything within a day if you really just spend all that effort in one day. And then because I can speak Chinese fluently, but I can't read
Is that
it.
your main
Like,
language,
no.
by the way, as well? I'm sorry. It's
Well, I mean, my English is pretty good. I'm just
Your English is great. I was just curious because I remember getting to that part in the episode again last time where I was like, you were like, there was some accent talk we were talking about, and you were like, yeah, this is really interesting because English isn't my first language. And I was like, your English sounds great for it not being your first language. And you were like, and then I have this bastardized version of 3 different accents. So that whole time I was thinking, I was like, where is this motherfucker from? What is his native language? So I'm just like,
I think I'm getting more comfortable with like saying it now. I think I'm getting more comfortable with people knowing that I'm like from Taiwan and Hong Kong and China and stuff. So I think I'll be fine. I'm just gonna say it in this episode because like we'll slowly reveal it out. It'll be a slow rollout, and then
it'll be a slow rollout,
it'll prepare for when I actually like have the balls to reveal it. But
that actually would make
for now,
more
it's
sense.
just
There's a lot of like Asian Chinese people who I know, not that I know, but like that I see on YouTube and whatnot, who they have Australian accents. Like that's one of the most common.
Yeah,
I'm not
there's a
gonna-
lot of
yeah,
there's a lot of people from Taiwan and Hong Kong and China in Australia actually.
Yeah, nice.
Because I mean, obviously, we're like fucking 2 steps away down. From
Yeah.
there. It's pretty chill.
You walk out of
So,
your front
you know,
door
we'll
and they're
see how it
right
goes.
there.
But whenever I go to Asia, I mostly stick to Taiwan and Japan because that's where most of my family lives.
Fair.
Sometimes you'll go to Hong Kong, and Hong Kong's nice, like it's really nice. And then I don't want to lose any social credit here. I think China's a very interesting country because I think I might love democracy a little too much. I think Shanghai is an amazing city. It's really nice. That's a city that I will praise without concern. But also the price in China, oh my god. I mean, it's beautiful, man. I go into a convenience store, I can buy a monster for like $1. Food there is like, you buy an entire feast and it's $5.
Big.
It's like, damn, that's crazy. But I just don't enjoy it as much as I do Taiwan and Japan. I really like those 2 countries. Probably because I grew up there. That's probably why I like those countries. It's a little bit of nostalgia. But yeah, I think out of all, I've been to Korea the least actually. That's the country in Asia that I've been to the least. But
Yeah.
you know,
That's so funny. You're like, I don't want to lose social credits for this, and then like as soon as you start talking, I just
don't wanna lose
bleep
social credits,
bleep
go
out
for it.
everything.
but it's just like a stream of beeps. It's God.
He comes back and then he's like, "Monster for $1." Back to beeping.
It's a really weird country, and it's so funny because I have both perspectives because I grew up in Australia. I think I can't really say that I'm Chinese because I'm not like in any way mainland China like
Loses social
so
credit.
it's like you know they let me in the country so it's like I'm sure they're chill enough.
They'd
with
let me into
because
the country, and you've
one-siders,
probably
but-
seen how white I am. I have a passport. They'll let me in.
Exactly. They see my Australian passport with the koala, and no, it's not a fucking koala. It's a kangaroo and an emu holding up a shield. It's awesome, and it's goddamn.
It's sick.
The most pain in the ass thing. I don't know how to read or write Chinese. So
Dang it.
when they sometimes at the. You never see this in Taiwan, by the way, but sometimes you'll go to the passport thing in China and they'll go, "Hey, write your full ass legal Chinese name," and it's like, what am I supposed to do about this situation? Like, I don't know how to do that.
I am illiterate. How fucking rude of you.
I'm illiterate. I know how to write and read middle, big, fire, water, up, down, and that's about it. I know mountain as well. I'm proud of myself. So it's but hey, I'm learning Japanese right now. Give me like a year or 2 and I'll be better at it.
You know what?
Hopefully.
Honestly, I appreciate your dedication. I was also, the other reason I was asking about that is because this is a tangent of a tangent. There's so I don't know if I've told you this before, probably not, because it only really comes up in passing with like my friends who I've seen in real life. But I took 3 years of Japanese in high school. I learned a decent amount, especially given that my teacher directly came from Kyoto, I believe. Um, and I did all of that, and I even have a plaque that they gave me that's basically like, you have shown your
Oh,
proficiency in learning the Japanese language according to the American Association for Teachers in Japanese. I think that's where it's from. And they
fabulous.
gave it to me, and I flipped it over and I looked at it and I just smiled and waved, and I got home and I realized I can't read any of it.
That's hey, it is what it is.
And so as a result, I was like, okay, if I need to go to Japan at some point because they have a lot of things that like
Mm,
my partner is really into, and like it's
you should.
my rite of passage as like a person who has a passport and like a decent amount of money. Like I need to go visit there, but I should at
You
least
gotta.
try to relearn the language because I want to show them respect. And if I can learn the
Mm,
language, I can learn other languages, and it makes me more smarter, right? So I was watching a
I
video,
think
or not even I was watching a video, but I was recommended a video that told me some interesting things that I will explain after I let you go because you were going to say something.
that's fine. That's fine. It's fine.
Okay, so I got this video recommended to me that was like how to actually learn Japanese. And it was from this dude who used I don't remember exactly the method he called it. He just called it the exposure method, which is
Mm,
essentially just like listening to very authentic conversations between people. Like not authentic conversations even for the purpose of like trying to teach somebody how to learn, but just like listen to how people speak. Because once you've learned the language, the letters essentially, and once you've learned like basic grammar rules, using using the Anki for the flashcards and using all this other stuff in combination with exposure of just learning things from other people, speaking very organically, is a really really good way to learn these sorts of things, because it's the same way that humans when they grow up learn how to understand their first language. So if I can
yeah.
find that video, I'm going to send that to you, and maybe you can try to give those things a shot and see if any of them work for you, and then report back.
I think one of the things about Japanese is I think one of it makes learning a lot of specific like words a lot easier because a lot of word
Oh yeah, a
uh
lot of like
like
non-Japanese
if
words are.
you go to Google Maps and you try to read signs around Tokyo, you'll realize that a lot of stuff is in katakana. And that makes it really easy to adapt. I think if you go to the rural areas, you won't have this luxury. But like sometimes words I know have like a hiragana or a kanji version. They're just spelled out in katakana, and it's just like, wait, that's just English. And it only takes you a second to realize. You read it out, and you're like, wait a second, is that? And then you realize, wait, it is, and it's oh god damn.
Yeah,
It's so silly.
it's almost like trying to pronounce, or it's like trying to read a billboard from a distance that's in a weird font and it's kind of hard to read, and then you piece all the letters together and then you realize, oh wait, that's actually what the word is, and then it's like built out and you can, and then it's like
Yeah.
you recognize that as being the word the next time you look at it.
Look, since the cat's already out of the bag, I will say my main motivation for like becoming uber successful on YouTube is so I can grow up and then I can move to Japan.
You know what? I
Because
respect that. I know some people
I
who have done that,
I
and I
love
respect that.
Japan. I love Japan a lot. And it's like, I like Taiwan, I like Hong Kong. Those countries are great, but it's like I think if I could avoid a lot of the negative work culture in Japan by just making YouTube videos, like it would be so perfect.
Yeah,
So we'll
that
see how
is
it
fair.
goes.
Yeah. Oh,
We'll see how it
dude, I
goes.
just remembered I have a friend who's actually going to go. I think actually in the coming months he's just going to fully move to Japan. He's this is the guy who went to Japan for a couple
Yo.
weeks to just like for enjoyment's sake. It was funny. He was like, I'm going to be in Japan for 3 weeks. Work. Can you please approve my 3 weeks time off? And they were like, no. And he went, okay.
Aw, what
So
the
he
fuck?
quit. And just
Yeah.
went anyways. Which I don't fully condone, but like he said that funnily before he actually went, he actually had some job interviews lined up in Japan, which is hilarious that Japanese hires actually get back to people when they apply to their jobs, but whatever. Just me being an American. But then he came back
Fabulous.
and he's like, yeah, in the coming months he's actually just gonna move down there and he's gonna live in his own little tiny Japanese apartment and he's gonna be a school teacher for Japanese children. And I'm like, do you know anything about Japanese? He's like, no. And I'm like, what are you teaching them? And I don't remember what he told me.
English,
Maybe.
probably. Dude, you always get stories about tourists. They go to like France or Rome and stuff, and it's like, yeah, we really enjoyed it, but it wasn't everything we expected. Like, it's like that disappointment of like going to like Rome and Paris and stuff, and going like, yeah, it was incredible, but it wasn't like we saw in our dreams and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You will never hear that type of story from someone who goes to Japan.
Yeah.
Like it is always nothing but positivity
Yeah. And
because it's incredible, and you should go there. You'd love it.
yeah, eventually we will. There's a couple places she wants to
Yeah.
see. There's a few places that I want to see. And again, like it's almost making me wonder if learning Japanese again is more the thing that I'm doing for the trip to Japan, or if it's the other way around, where the idea of going there and not wanting to embarrass myself by not even trying to remember or understand the language is pushing me to try to learn the language.
I mean, from a purely logical perspective, learning Japanese is actually a really good play because if you learn Japanese, it allows you to springboard off into a lot of other languages in the Sinosphere. So, like, you could easily learn Chinese. You could easily, not easily, but you could learn Chinese and Cantonese a lot
Easier
easier
than if
by
I
knowing
didn't know
kanji.
Japanese. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe okay, maybe not Chinese. You'd have an easy time learning traditional Chinese, not simplified Chinese, but Cantonese you'll be easy okay with. Like the kanji is basically the same thing. If you compare a lot of street signs in Hong Kong to Japan, like in Tokyo, apart from the hiragana and katakana, which is obvious, a lot of like the main verbs, not like a lot of the main substance, like the nouns and the verbs and stuff, exact same. So it's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it's almost like you're
So
you'd almost be like reading it in like a broken English or a broken Japanese in a sense, but
Yeah,
still
yeah.
enough to know like, oh, this is in fact I am in fact at the right place.
My parents know zero things about Japanese, but when they go to Japan, they know more. Like they can read and understand it more than I do because they can read that. Like they can read the kanji,
Yeah.
and I can't because I
It's
didn't fucking learn it when I was young. Ah,
But give him a year or two,
goddamn.
and then he
Yeah,
won't be as good as
surely,
his
surely.
parents, but he'll be better.
Better in massive quotations.
Yeah. So that's exciting
Uh,
to hear about. I this is a whole other like side of you that I wasn't expecting to learn about, but I find it infinitely more fascinating just because
I like
know.
Asia. What can I say? Asia's not. I really like Australia though. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I think. Honestly, it's as the US gets a little more silly. I'm kind of grateful that I get to live here. I keep like when I was young, I would always compare Australia to Asia, and I'd go like, wait a second, I would much rather be there because I was like, oh, the cities are so much bigger. Everything's cheaper. There's more people and stuff like that. But I think as I grow older and older, it's like oh shit, give me 1 second.
As he grows older and older, he realizes, Australia is actually kind of hitting more than he realizes. And as you grow older, you get to understand the wisdom. You get to, or what am I talking about? You get to understand all the little nuances about the country, and you get to kind of view it from a more grown-up perspective.
All right, and we are back. We are we are right back.
I was stalling so hard, aka like 12 seconds.
12 seconds, massive. You're the goat for that. But yeah, I guess I hope you enjoy your trip to Japan. It'll be very nice.
I will report back
it's also-
information to you about how I feel now that I know that you're one of the few people that I can bring the information to, and you'd kind of understand it more than just like from a touristy perspective of like, oh, I've never been there before. That's cool.
Also, I will say, as a tourist, being a tourist as an Australian is kind of great because, especially if you don't like the heat, because when like when it's my time off school and stuff and I have holidays and stuff, it is Christmas. And Christmas in the rest of the world is always like festive and like cold and really nice. I love the cold. I love the cold so much. I mean, Australia is famously hot as hell, but it is not that in Asia. So in the winter times, if my family does go to Asia and stuff, it's so nice because it's not like I'm not dying from heat stroke and I get to see whatever bastardized version of Christmas Asia has cooking up this year. It's like, goddamn.
That was actually one of those interesting
Some of
things
the
that I had
things.
always thought about is like Japan's on an island, so it's humid as shit, so it's going to feel hotter all the time. I already get pissed off by the heat just because I'm like a slightly larger human being, and I don't know, I just have a higher body temperature, I guess. I also live in like one of the driest states in the United States, which is perfectly fine for me. But that means that if I ever go to any place that's humid, I have to stall again. So the crazy thing about Australia is that, as we mentioned last time,
Sorry about that. Okay, I'm back.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, I overheat easily, and so whenever I go to any place that's like humid, I the first time I went to my first humid place, I went swimming, came home and washed all of
Oh,
the whatever out of my like body, off of my body,
yeah.
got out of the shower, dried myself off, stepped into the next room and was still wet, and I was like, this doesn't. I hate it here. Fuck everything.
Dude, oh, Singapore, holy shit. 30 degrees, humid as like set as Celsius,
Yeah.
30 degrees Celsius, humid as hell, literally every single month of the year. It's insane there.
Ugh.
And that's my one thing about Hong Kong. Like, because everything is air conditioned in the inside, the moment you step out of a building, it's like you get punched in the face by a heat wave. Like, it's crazy stuff. And look, I'm not even okay. A lot of people will lie about their height, especially if they're faceless. But
Oh, that too.
I am lucky enough that even with my Asian genetics, I am 6 foot,
Big.
which is great, which is
That was
massive,
so
right?
loud. Holy
But
fuck.
whenever you like, and it's really weird because whenever you go in like a metro system, it's like my sister and my mum, they always like don't like the big cities. Like, well, not like they like it, but they don't like the crowds, right?
Fair.
Because obviously there's a lot of people and they get lost, especially in Hong Kong when the streets are really narrow. Like, they feel like they're like like suffocating because they're crowded over by everyone.
Yeah.
But because I'm so much like because I'm tall, I never have that problem, and so it's always felt. It's maybe a little biased from me, but I really I never struggled from like a crowding problem. But I can understand the heat problem because it's so hot there in summer.
Yeah, I'd also, I mean, I don't know, like there's a very good chance that like if me and my partner are well off enough, we'll probably end up going there at least twice, like over across like the two major weather conditions. So hopefully it'll at least be a lot more bearable or whatever when uh we're there in like cooler months and whatnot. And I'm also curious to see like how humidity affects winter conditions because I've never experienced that before.
It should snow, I think, in some places, which is always
Well,
good
I
to
hope
see.
so.
Yeah. No. In summer, I can say this confidently. Japan is so beautiful. It is such like, especially in the countryside. It is maybe. It's actually really hard. I really like the Japanese countryside, but I'm very nostalgic of the Taiwanese countryside. But both those countrysides are absolutely like nature-wise incredibly just amazing. And that's really rich because I'm an Australian and I can like walk 5 meters and just be in the fucking be in a forest randomly, and it's beautiful as well. But
Yeah.
there's like the giant lush green rolling hills and stuff, and it's so wonderful. I miss it. Oh well.
One day he'll be back.
I guess I'm yeah, I guess I'm stuck in fucking $25 for a burger. God.
Rename the country of Australia to $25 for a burger.
$25 for a burger, yeah.
That's
Because
fucked up.
everything God damn. Oh whatever. It is what it is. It is what it is.
No, let me get back on track a little bit. You
Yeah, I'm
you
getting
brought this
locked
up. You
in.
brought this up like right at the beginning of the,
Yes.
right before the show actually, about your change to go back to uploading weekly. What in your life has
Yes.
changed where you suddenly feel comfortable with making that change again?
College. No, okay, wait. So
Fair.
in Australia, our year, I don't know how American school systems work, but our year 11 and 12, we do what we call college, right? And it's basically high school, but one day of, but like you have a day less classes, basically.
Oh,
And
interesting. Okay.
I was like, okay, wait, I need a way to use this time. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna upload and make more videos during that. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Huh. Yeah, we definitely don't have anything quite like that specifically, where the 11th and 12th years get to just have a day that they don't go to school. We
Yeah, it's like a rest day, like not like combined. So there's a bunch of like free periods and stuff, and if you add all of them together, it's basically it counts for one day where you just won't have school.
Oh, so do you mean that 11th and 12th graders have free periods spanned across those days of the week, or is it like
Yeah, and they add up to like if you add all of them up through Monday to Friday, you'll get a day. Of
I
school.
see what you're saying. Okay, yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. And I was like, I need to use extra time.
We would kind of have something similar to that, but it's not as systematic. That would be on a more case by case basis, where if somebody has all of their credits to be able to graduate high school or whatever, then like sometimes the teacher might just be like, I don't give a shit what you do. Just don't cause any trouble and don't snitch if someone is curious where it, like who let you go or whatever, like things like that.
Massive.
But
I mean, I guess like uh I have some friends in private schools, and like their schedules look like fucking hell on earth.
I'd imagine.
So I'm very glad I don't have to deal with that.
I never got to have
it's
like
something.
I never got to have long discussions with any friends that I had that grew up in private schools to see how their like workload was when they were in schools, because frankly I probably because due to the fact that I didn't really give that much of a shit, and I know that like in high school, with the exception of like 2 classes out of the entire 4 years that I was there, I kind of just didn't have to mentally think about a lot of things. I just sort of showed up and was just like
Yeah.
just so good at the base core curriculum that I could just sort of do things, and then like, and I wasn't spending like long hours at night trying to finish an assignment or a project or whatever. Like it'd just be done, I suppose.
From what I've seen, I have a lot of friends in America, and they talk about their schools, and it honestly just kind of sounds like an Australian school, but like way more chaotic. Like, I think we might have like a stereotype of being like like out of all of the white people countries on earth, like we're the craziest ones, right? Like we do a bunch of crazy shit and stuff. But it's
Yeah.
like our schools are really, really chill. Like they're very relaxed, and maybe this isn't the case for all schools. I'm sure like there's some school in like Western Sydney which is like a fucking like they beat up crocodiles every single day, but for most of it
Yeah,
it's
it's for the
kind of just like
crocodile
American
beating
schools, but
class.
a lot more boring. Like there's no like fights or anything. Everyone just goes about their day. They don't pay attention to things they don't need to. They mind their own business, and they just go home, do well in school, and then move on and stuff. It's pretty nice, honestly.
Interesting. That's like a culture difference that
Yeah.
I'd love to try and understand and dissect. There's like so many implicit factors that could probably separate the American school system from the Australian school system that on their own don't have like that you could not pin down one specifically and say this is the reason. But if you were managed to get all of them and assemble Exodia, then you'd have the prime example of why American school children are so depressed all the time.
It's also like there's a lot like everyone kind of, maybe this is my school things, like because all of my friends, they like it's the same with all of them, but maybe I'm just missing that one school which doesn't do this, but no one like implicitly hates each other. Like there's
Fascinating.
barely any bullying going on. And if you are an Australian and you're getting bullied, I'm very sorry for speaking this terrible misinformation. But for all of my friends in their countless high schools and colleges that they're in, there's basically nothing like going on. Everyone's just kind of happy with each other. It's kind of great.
What's the healthcare situation look
you
like
know.
over there? How often do people get mental wellness checks?
Mental wellness. I don't know about the healthcare system for mental health. I think physical wise, I think you have like a little bit of dental money. I don't really get sick that often, so I guess I don't have to
Fair.
deal with
I
it
was
that
just
much,
curious
but-
because I always think about like the bully mentality as like somebody who is usually like projecting their insecurity problems
Right.
onto other people. So I was like, maybe people in Australia are just like more mentally healthy. I don't know. Like
I think it's less mentally healthy. I think it's more that we just give less of a shit.
that
Like
makes even more sense.
you like something terrible. Okay, wait. Let me think of an example. I think it's like you'll see like a fucking drive-by shooting, and a lot of the times like you'll just go, damn, that's tough, and then you kind of just move on with your day. Like that's kind of the attitude a lot of people have. So it's like
Fair.
I don't think bullying would even be that effective.
Yeah.
Not effective. I don't think bullying is as prevalent here as it is in the US, because it's like, everyone's just a lot chiller, and we care a little less. Like you can see that from our fucking politics, because no one gives a shit.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
The
No
response
one
to
gives a
everything
shit.
for them is just, damn.
Yeah, I'm sure ScoMo did some things, but no one's ever going to remember him for that. We're going to remember him because he shat himself in a McDonald's, and then,
Yes.
that's
The whole
that's what we're gonna
world
remember
will
him
only
for.
remember him for that.
for shitting himself in a Macca's.
Because that's
What a
about the
lad.
only
What a
prevalent
lad.
Australian meme that seems to get circulated, at least in the US.
I think there's. Well, I mean, one of our other members drowned, and then we named a pool after him.
Well,
pretty
that's
solid.
that's fucked up. But like you said, they don't care that much, and that's okay. It's not my business to meddle with.
Yeah, you know, it is what it is. We
Yeah.
move on.
That's okay.
But when it comes to it, I think, you know, we can be very friendly, especially like I think, you know, I like Australia a lot, and I like the Australian people as well.
yeah,
It's like it's that warmth that a lot of the times you don't get from like Asia. It's like we're a lot more friendly. I think Americans are still the most friendly people I've met.
yeah. This is so strange because, in my estimation, I feel like Americans are literally on both ends of the curve, where
Mm.
the nicest American person that you meet may very well be like because like niceness in a lot of other countries seems to manifest in like a lot of hospitality and being kind of like very professional to them. I feel like the nicest Americans ever you could become a friend with immediately and not feel some kind of pressure to like reciprocate professionality. But then the meanest Americans that I know, at least when it comes to just how they treat people and not what they do to them, I feel like their baseline is just like, depending on where you go, it's just hateful of people who don't look like them. I don't know, it's very strange. It's obviously definitely my American-centric view in the fact that I get exposed to a lot of Americans interacting with other with people of different cultures and who come from different countries. But I feel like whenever I see a person from a different country being rude or being like hostile towards an American, it's usually because they did something first. It's usually because they are a content creator or whatever who just rage baits like Korean people and gets millions of views, and his entire life is paid for by the YouTube money he gets from making fun of Korean people or whatever. But I don't know.
That's okay. Wow.
That sounded weirdly
Pat.
specific, and it was just because my friend told me once of a story. They have like a Korean bounty hunter out for this one YouTuber because all he does is go to Korea and just like harass people.
Oh shit! He's alive.
Yeah.
Oh god damn.
So I don't know.
I
That
guess
seems to be
it's-
my estimation. Like it seems like a lot of other countries you go to, they'll be very friendly because they recognize you're a tourist, and will only put that down if you are doing something first. Whereas I see people in America unprompted being like racist as hell towards other people who are born in America just because they look like they might think differently or look differently from them. Like it's very weird.
Yeah. Okay. It is what it is, I guess. I mean, to be fair, I think it's I'll say like as I really like Australia because I don't think I've experienced much racism here like at all.
Oh, God
It's
bless.
very it's like it's a lot more accepting. And I hope it stays that way. But
Yeah.
I mean, I think as times get more tough, it might not. I mean, we have this guy, he's called Peter Dutton. If you take a fucking look at him, he just looks a little evil, and you know, I hope.
Oh my God.
But we'll get to that when we get there. Hopefully, Queensland doesn't do something a little silly. That would be kind of tough.
Sorry, this just reminds me of the CEO of Activision. I can't think of his name off the top of my head right now. You know the meme? The meme where it's like he hates the fact that he can't get any successful dates with women because the first Google search that comes up when you look up his name is him photoshopped to look like the devil.
Massive.
So that's kind of the vibe that this gives me.
Yeah, he is. He is. I mean, we'll see.
We'll see indeed. This sounds like a whole lot of
We'll
your
see.
problem, not a whole lot of my problem. Now his image is burned into my
Yeah.
brain, but I know he can't hurt me.
Well, yeah, no, but the thing is, when you guys are like someone stupid, it does hurt us.
Yeah, and look, I on behalf of the American nation, I'm truly sorry for what might happen. I shouldn't be laughing. That's fucked up. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's fucked up. That's fucked up. Either way,
but goddamn,
it's good to see that you've made extra time out of your week to be able to make up weekly uploads. But as you've seen from the conversations that we have, I hope you can take it easy on yourself and not push yourself too hard. I don't know if that's possible because of your 16-hour editing sessions, but I'm hoping and praying to God that you don't burn yourself out trying to make these weekly videos when you don't know that when you think that they may be harming you.
Yeah, well, I'll be fine. It'll be fine.
I have faith. Yeah, he has the indomitable human spirit, and even more than that, the indomitable Australian spirit, which I think somehow might even be stronger.
Absolutely. I mean, what we're gonna have to deal with like another bushfire, like a flood, a hailstorm, a tsunami, and it'll be fine. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, and you're gonna be like, "Hey guys, new Monster Hunter video out," and they're like, "We heard what's happening in Australia. Are you
glazing
good?"
Ultra Kill. You know, no matter what happens, you know, the glaze must continue. I gotta keep producing glaze.
Yeah. All I'm saying is that V1's been underwater fully, and he didn't die, so why should I?
Amen. That's actually exactly what I'm saying. Holy.
Oh, Jesus Christ. God. All right, that was it. I didn't have that many questions actually written down because I knew this was going to become like a 6-hour episode if I just wrote down a bunch of stuff. And it was mostly just things that I was curious about, follow-ups for how things had been going and whatnot. So things look up for you right now, and I think that's fantastic. And I want you to know that your work is not going unnoticed. Good shit.
Thank you. I appreciate it a lot.
You're very welcome.
And same with you. You're making really good videos, man.
Thank you.
And I enjoy watching them all the time.
We're both in the same boat, and the boat has not yet sunk, even if you did make 3 replacement boats. I don't know how you got the materials to do it, but you did.
Yeah. I broke off a little piece of the main boat and I made a little dinghy and it immediately sunk, but then I made another one. I'm going to hope it doesn't sink this time.
Yeah, you learned proper engineering techniques to prevent that little piece from sinking again.
Exactly.
Oh, Christ.
So, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess before I let you go and probably do more important things, I guess do you have any questions for me? Because this happens sometimes.
I think that's it. I hope you just have a good rest of your day and just find great success and luck and stuff.
Dude, it is so insanely hot here for no reason. It's like not even that hot outside. I think it's just me waving my arms all around the place has been kind of heating up the room ridiculous, and I can't have my fan on because I'm not letting that pick up on the recording. But
yeah, that is true.
Either way, yeah. Where can the people find you? Because it was hard for me to find you even when you gave me your channel names.
So you can go to @VMediocrity. You can go to @CritTheCreator, and then I think that's it. I don't think I post that much on Crit and Co. So I'm not even gonna shout that one out because I don't really care for that too much.
No, I haven't heard of that one. So there's another one that I don't know about. Or maybe it just has.
I was gonna
post
the Marvel Rivals clips on there. But I think it should be in the bio for my. If you go to Crit the Creator, all my channels will be in the like the other channel section.
There's an other. Oh yeah, at the bottom of the page.
Yeah. Massive.
Oh yeah, look at that. All right, subscribed. Smile.
Let's go.
All right.
And you should do that too to the DJ Cereal Sauce channel, folks.
I also have an alt channel if you want to be up to date on how I make certain music that I made. Wait, hold on. You're buying Crit me, but 0.5% worse.
Well, I mean, I can't lie to people.
Fair. That's great. That's actually
just my main videos, but with a little less effort.
The YouTube banners that you have are hilarious. Like the one on your main channel is just like, please subscribe or I will die.
I might cry.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's like one normal banner, and then it's just me, but 0.5% worse. God bless.
Yeah, so that's where you can find everybody. Well, that's where you can find this goat over here. If you're looking for me, like you said, just look up DJ Cereal Sauce. And I have link trees posted everywhere. So if you want to know where my SoundCloud is, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Twitch, all that stuff, it's over there. And God damn it, I don't have any quippy Australian jokes to make here, and I feel like if I say something about like Asian culture, that will come off as culturally insensitive. So I'm just not gonna bother.
Nah, you'll be fine.
I'm just not gonna bother.
It'll be fine.